Hello and welcome back into live stream. This is day number 3. It's interesting, little experiment that I'm doing here with the live streaming. The viewing numbers aren't lying. You guys are enjoying it. I can't imagine why, but if that's what you want, it's certainly easier for me to live stream than to go through and do all the editing process. And it's certainly good to have the immediate feedback here in the chat with just the questions and answers and such going back and forth. So welcome. If you're not in the chat, please join us. And of course, the video will be made available after the stream. Just want to make a couple little changes here. Let's see. This is going to be. What am I going to call this? This is going to be. Yeah, that's what I want to call that. Okay, very good, very good. Yes, I wore the same shirt today because when I piece the videos together, it'll make a lot more sense. But if I keep doing this every day, you're going to eventually see a lot of the same shirts. I have 200 videos. I'm going to need to have 200 shirts. Come on, guys. Cut me some slack there. All right, so initially I was going to do all the cable management and the configuration for Windows last night so that we'd start today and this would already be done. But it was my sister's birthday yesterday and I spent time with her, and so it was too late by the time I got home to continue any work. And I thought, well, since you guys aren't bored to death, I actually have to reinstall Windows. I did talk with Mike Smith, and he said go ahead and leave this hard drive bay out, which is good. And I put on Windows 10 Home, and he actually wants Windows 10 Pro, which is a great opportunity for me to show you how to reinstall Windows. Now, when I do the reinstall of Windows, I'm going to completely wipe the hard drive. So if you're planning to do this yourself, you want to make sure that you're going to be able to reinstall all your programs when you're done, have all your product keys, your activations, all your data, photos, music, all backed up before you begin this, because it is going to wipe that hard drive and it's going to start over fresh and clean. It's often called a nuke and pave. Nuke in that we're destroying it, and a paving it that we're repaving. That's what we call it in the tech world. Some people, just addressing some of the comments yesterday, some people felt that I could have been better prepared. When you saw there were some parts I didn't know what they were for. Understand that I think you guys are used to watching review channels where they sit there and they read the PR releases and they have all that time to do that. Technicians bill by the hour. I assure you, you don't want a technician coming over to your place of business or your home and then sitting there and reading the manual before they begin charging you for that time. Basically, all computers go together the same. So if a technician has competence, they simply ignore the parts they're not familiar with because they don't need them. And then if they run into an obstacle, they go, maybe one of those parts was for that. Or once the job is done, out of curiosity, they go, I wonder what that part was for. So if you feel that's me not being prepared, that's the reality of how, again, I try and emphasize the difference between a real working computer technician and a computer enthusiast who makes videos on YouTube for a living. You know, those guys can write scripts and rehearse and, pretty much say whatever the manufacturers tell them to say, on the press release. So we don't have time for that in the real world. In the real world, we just try and get things done as quickly and as accurately as possible, try and get it done right the first time, save the customers as much money as possible, try and help as many people as possible in any given day, because that also means you have more billable hours. And, get it right the first time so you don't have to go back and do any warranty work, because then you'll cut any profit that you've tried to make in going through that. And of course, you don't start out being quick. Like anything else, when you're first starting out, you're going to be pretty slow at it. But as you continually do the same things repetitively over and over and over again, the confidence builds and you just start to realize all of this is more or less the same. And so when manufacturers throw a little curveball at you with some weird thing that they've created, like Asus did with that little M.2 bracket, which I think is really stupid, it's just an impression. I think some people have the wrong impression. that they don't understand the difference between a real working computer technician that's showing you how things are done in the real world and somebody who just gets sent some products that manufacturers want them to market. Not that I won't do that. I mean, I have some products here that I'll talk about, but I won't really review them. I'll just sort of give you an overview of them. And in those kind of videos, you know, I'll do a little research first, so I don't want to embarrass myself or upset the company by misrepresenting the product or maybe not saying something about a feature that it's got that I didn't know it's got. So anyway, just to clarify that for anybody who wants to know. Now, before I get started, let's just see what's going on in the chat here. 227 people joining us right now. Feel free if you want to say where you're from in the chat here. We've got someone's in a pub in Birmingham. I'm jealous. What else? What else do we have? This is the real world and mistakes are made. Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. You know, I think too many people are afraid of making mistakes. The mistakes you make are how you learn. Romania, Asheville, North Carolina, New York, Slovenia, Iceland. Wow, Iceland. New Jersey, France, Serbia, Texas, Okeechobee, Florida, Munich, North Carolina, UK, Orange County, California, Norway, Wichita Falls, Corona, California, Europe. Well, that's pretty vague. Russia? Really? Is there someone from Russia? Pismo Beach? Is that Bugs Bunny? London, Knoxville, Czech, Indiana, Switzerland. Are you guys just making up places now, or are you really from these places? Sweden, Santan, Arizona. That's not too far from me. Canada, Bangladesh, Minnesota, Lisbon. Is Lisbon Spain or Lisbon, Portugal? Spain, isn't it? Oklahoma, California, Romania, Bucharest, Shanghai, China. My wife is driving and I'm watching. That's cool. Trinidad, Finland, Northwest London, Romania, Germany, Lancashire, Vancouver, Portugal, Lisbon, Portugal. All right. Seattle, Washington, Austria, Union City, California, Calgary, Bangladesh, Estonia, Denmark. Please use UEFI. You think? Blackpool, Pahrump, Nevada, Wytheville, Virginia, Japan, Antarctica. Yeah, you're not in the Antarctica. Come on. All right. Let's tell you what. We can keep talking because I have to reinstall Windows. That's going to take a few minutes. So let me show you how I do that. And to do that, I have to disconnect my screen here where I can see what's going on in the chat. So I will be blind. I won't be able to talk to you guys with the chat. But let me turn this around like so. And let me hook up. Oh, I already have the HDMI cable hooked up. So that's good. And then I need my keyboard and mouse, and let's get that plugged in right back here. And then I've got my Windows 10 Creators Update version 1703. I always want to give the customers the latest version. Nothing worse than getting a brand new computer, you turn it on and it says, wait an hour and a half while I update to the latest version of Windows. That's discouraging. I guess I have to turn the switch on the back of the power supply on, don't I? There we go. Safety first, safety first. All right, let's get this turned on. I was in such a hurry, I didn't even clear my set properly. Let's get that out of here. That's going to boot to Windows, which I don't want it to do. I want it to go to boot options, please. I know I'm blocking the screen. I'm going to grab my keyboard here. That's what I wanted. All right, so we want to go to, so by pressing F8 now, I can tell it where I want it to boot. And how much of a glare are we getting here? Yeah, the lighting is kind of reflective. But anyway, so I want the UEFI partition 1 on the silicon power. That's the manufacturer of the flash drive I'm using. Push enter. And I want to see the little circle start down here for the Windows 10. It should be booting off the flash drive right now. This flash drive doesn't have a light on it, so I can't tell when it's reading or writing, but that is what I want to see. Remember, we already have Windows installed, so I'm going to erase the Windows that's on there. I'm not going to install this Windows on top of it. That would be bad. So just hit enter. And I don't know why this keyboard is not detected on this screen, so I got to click next. Then I'll click install now. And it just takes a minute. All of this is the same. Right down here it says I don't have a product key. The customer will be entering their own product key when they receive the unit. We want Windows 10 Home, so I'll hit enter. See, the keyboard works now. Some sort of driver thing. The end user license agreement that nobody reads and nobody cares about, I can hit the space bar that checks the I accept and push enter, or you can use your mouse. I want to do the custom. Always want to do custom. Every single time I do a clean install, it's always custom. So I just use the arrows on the keyboard, or I can use the mouse, whatever. And you'll see we've got drive 0, which is the 4 terabyte drive. And it says it's all unallocated space. That means we haven't used that drive yet. We haven't partitioned it. We haven't formatted it. It's still brand new out of the package. We don't want to install on the mechanical drive. It's slow. That's a storage drive. You'll see what happened on drive 1 when we installed Windows is it created these 4 partitions. There's a 450 meg partition, that's a recovery partition. The second partition is 100 megs. The third partition is 16 megs, which is your MSR reserve partition, and partition 4 is your main primary partition. We want to delete all of these partitions. So all I have to do is hit the red X here where it says delete, and make sure you're selecting the proper drives. If you have, let's say that this computer was in use by the customer and they're using the storage drive, or they back the data up off the solid state onto the storage, and you hit the delete on the wrong drive, that's not good. So it's really important you pay attention, and if you're really afraid, then when the computer is off, just disconnect all the other drives except your primary drive where you want Windows to go, and then you won't have any decisions to make. It'll be the only drive that appears. So depending on how comfortable you are with technology, choose whichever way is right for you. I need to delete these 4 partitions, so I select each one, click OK, and it does warn you, you can't undo that. Once you do it, it's gone. Of course, data recovery could probably get the data back, but it would probably cost you somewhere around $500, and you'd be without the drive for some time, and that doesn't guarantee they'd be able to get everything back. Now we're back to exactly the way the computer looked when we installed the drive, the solid state drive, fresh and clean. Now it says drive 1 is unallocated space. The entire size is unallocated. That's what we want to see, and that's where we want to install Windows. You see it always defaults to the drive order, drive 0, drive 1. In this case it's drive 1. Then we click next, and we can allow it to continue the installation as normal. And this will be an absolute clean install, as if I'm installing for the very first time, which means all the drivers have to be put back on, activation has to be redone. It's just like a fresh, what we call nuke and pave. So let's go ahead and let that run, and while that's doing that, I can plug this back in and chat with you guys back in the chat room. I could get a second monitor out. That would make my life a lot easier in some ways. But why would I make my life easier? I should be able to just switch this. I think one of these buttons here. No, that's not the one I want. Menu. And give me input source. Oops. Input source is on auto select right now. So I'll move it down to, oops, DVI. That should bring up Yeah, it does. Very good. And then let me turn it around so I can face you when I talk to you. And I'll take my keyboard and my mouse. Okay, so while that is happening, I guess I need the little USB wireless keyboard and mouse. You see, I can do all that while Windows is installing. It doesn't interfere with the installation of Windows at all. Is there any chance for you to make a Ryzen build? Okay, guys, remember, I'm a working computer technician. So what that means is everything you see, I don't know why I have to say this 50 times. Everything you see is from a real customer. This is real work that I'm performing, that I'm held accountable and liable for. If you want to see a Ryzen build, order one from me. I mean, that's all it is. Again, I think you guys still are hung up on this concept of tech enthusiasts who get products shipped to them by manufacturers, and they aren't paying for them, and they aren't liable for them, and they don't rely on them. Whereas I'm a real working computer technician, and I work on what customers purchase from me or what customers bring in for repair. So if there's anything you want to see, any part whatsoever, you have to order it from me. Or you have to sit idly by and see what other people order, and I turn the cameras on and show you how I handle that. So that's how my channel differs from your other channels, and I guess I just have a little job ahead of me to educate the viewers about the differences. And so a lot of people want to know how to order a computer from me. First and foremost, you've got to be within the United States. If you're not within the United States, I can't help you. There's import taxes and things that you have to pay when the computer arrives. The computer's more likely to have damage traveling over the sea. And boy, there's nothing worse than spending a lot of money on a computer and shipping and then waiting a long time for it to get to your country, only to find out that there's an import tax you've got to pay before you can get the computer. And then when you open it up, you find out it's been destroyed in shipping, and the shipper will say it's not our fault, it was inadequately packed. Yeah, so I don't want to invite that kind of problem. So I handle everything within the United States, the continental United States. So I'm not shipping to Hawaii, I'm not shipping to Alaska. It's just too likely to have damage in shipping, and there's no way I can give you any support. So other than that, you can fly me out to your country and we can order the parts. You can put me up in your house. I'll bring my tools and my camera. I'm happy to do that. I'd love to see the world. No? No. You can switch off the green LED light on the graphics card with an application called NVIDIA LED Visualizer. I did not know that. I will see if it bothers the customer. They might want it. I don't know. It'd be nice if you could just change the color, though. People want to know, how do they contact me? I have a Facebook fan page, and there's a link to it at the bottom of all my regular videos. I don't think the link is on the live stream videos. And then you can just send a private message on the Facebook fan page. I also have a Facebook page that's private, and you have to send me a friend request. But I recommend that you go through the fan page, and there are admins there that'll help answer any technical questions or build advice you're seeking. And then if anybody wants to hire me, then we can go through those steps as well. Didn't he want Windows 10 Pro? Yeah, that's why I put Windows 10 Pro on there. That's what's installing right now. I thought your admins do the Facebook page. The admins assist with the Facebook page. I let them. The admins and I work together, and I make sure that everything happening on the Facebook fan page is up to my standards. And if they're, somebody's being abusive, or whether it's on one side or the other, I will generally jump in and end that very quickly. But very busy working, trying to help customers, so I don't have time to sit on Facebook and chit-chat with people. generally. But for people that want to hire me, absolutely, I will make the time. You said you were installing Windows 10 Home, not Pro. No, I said I installed Windows 10 Home yesterday by mistake. And when I talked to Mike Smith, he said his customer wanted Pro, so I'm having to redo it. I was going to redo it last night. What's my hourly rate? It just depends what the work is. You selected Home. Well, did I? I'll have to go back and see. Pretty sure I selected Pro. Let's see how this thing's doing. It should be coming along pretty good here. And then we can verify which version of Windows is on there. Questions like what's the difference between Windows 10, Home, and Pro? Just Google that. You'll get your answer. You don't need to ask me that. All right, so let me go back and what am I doing? Let me turn this back around. All right, let's switch back over. Let's see, menu, input source. Go to HDMI this time. How are we doing here? Oh, very good. All right, so let me get my keyboard and mouse. Love working on new computers. You know, people bring me old computers to work on. It takes forever to wait for the computer to finish doing whatever you ask it to do. And so when you're working on new hardware, it's such a pleasure that everything just zips by so much faster and I can get so much more done. All right, start with the region, United States, skip. It wants to connect to a network. I'm just gonna skip that for now because it's got the Wi-Fi built in, that's why. Who's going to use this PC? I'll put the customer's name in here, Matthew, and hit next. For the password, I'll just hit enter. We don't need a password. I'm going to turn Cortana on. He can turn it off. Location we don't need. Diagnostics we don't need. Relevant ads we don't need. I'll leave speech recognition on because I don't know if he'll want to use it. Tailored experiences with diagnostic data. I turn that off. Click accept. And this should be ready very, very soon. I really do like the way that looks on, I like the way that NZXT spins around like that. That's pretty cool. And it's got it's like a one-way mirror on this side, so it looks like the light just continues down into the inside of it, which is pretty cool. Not too shabby. This is taking a little longer than I thought it would. All right, maybe I just had to say that. There we go. So, what version of Windows did I just install? Oops, that's not what I wanted. Windows 10 Pro, just like I said. All right, so anyway, now we have Windows 10 Pro installed, and I can now eject that flash drive. There we go. And set that down, and now I'm going to grab the Asus motherboard driver DVD, which I have over here. And this would be the order that I recommend that you do your own install, is the operating system, booting it off USB, so much faster to install than going off optical drives. There's definitely a cultural and generational shift with the opinion of optical drives. It's mostly the millennials who are opposed to optical drives, and everybody else still wants them. So my request to all of you out there is that you have consideration that I'm not building the computer for you. The point of this is to show you how a computer is made, and also to emphasize the consideration and respect of other people's needs that are different than yours. So whether or not you need a Blu-ray drive or a DVD or a CD is of no relevance to anybody else but you. So please keep that in mind before you criticize. Now, let's see, let's go to the optical drive here. Whoops, wrong one, Carey. Where's our optical drive? There it is. And let's go ahead and get this started. So what I found was, yesterday when I did this, I had mentioned that Asus was using Norton Internet Security and sneaking it in as a driver. And then they stopped doing that. But now, under utilities, they're sneaking in Kaspersky. So I have to figure out where that's coming from, because when I installed Kaspersky unknowingly, I uninstalled it, and after I uninstalled it, the system wouldn't boot anymore. It would just blue screen. Brand new, fresh install, and that's all I did. So this had to be reinstalled anyway. So Asus continues to disappoint on the driver's disk. Here's the special offers. At least it's clearly marked, but in my opinion, it should not be there at all. It's another revenue stream for Asus, right? So they're not doing that as a favor. They're getting paid to put that on there. So anything that is not directly from Asus, unless it's a licensed, like I know they have some applications for utilities where they give you a 1-year license. I think even, I don't know if they do it with Kaspersky. They actually may be giving you a 1-year license to Kaspersky now when I think about it. But I'll go back and look more closely at the utilities. It should be clearly labeled so you can uncheck it, and it should be separate from things like overclocking utilities and system maintenance utilities from Asus. There should be sort of this third-party vendor tab. It shouldn't even be in the same section. It should be drivers, utilities, third-party ads, third-party promotion, just promotions. Something that separates Asus from other manufacturers that they're including, because that type of deception and manipulation to me is underhanded. It's probably nothing that's going to get any better. It'll probably get worse. So all I can do is make you aware of it and tell you what to look for, because there's nothing worse than doing a clean install and then accidentally installing something that you have to uninstall. The whole point of the clean install is that you have only what you want. That way your system is as lean and as fast and reliable as it possibly can be. As you continue to add software over time and take software off, that's generally when you start experiencing slowdowns or other types of hiccups or problems that occur. So we'll go ahead and let that run, and let's switch back over into the chat. Boy, by the end of today, I should be really, really good at switching back and forth here. I sometimes wish I had an old-fashioned button I could push rather than go through these menuing systems. All right. And I guess I need my keyboard and mouse again, and I'm going to turn the monitor around. And I'll just wait till I hear the optical drive stop spinning. That'll be my clue that it's done. Let's turn this around. Getting my cables tangled. There we go. And give me that. Yoink. Let's put that in here. All right, so while that is happening, what's on your mind? Questions? Any questions? Show some love for Singapore. Do you know Spanish? Sometimes you use some words. I live in Arizona. Do I have to say anything else than that? What does fake PC mean? Someone's posting fake PC over and over and over. It's almost like Rain Man. Fake PC, fake PC, fake PC, fake PC, fake PC, fake PC. Just rocking back and forth. Fake PC. What does that mean? You need help? Do you need some help? Hello from South Carolina. Levi wants to say thank you. Thank you, Levi. Hello from the Philippines. Hi, Philippines. He's spamming. I reported him. So when you guys speak and you say he's, I don't know who he's is. Apparently now everybody wants to say, come on everybody say fake PC, join on in, come on, let's all chant. Fake PC, fake PC, fake PC. No idea what you're accomplishing with that. Hello from Devon, England, and Norway, California, Colombia, Kabul, Afghanistan, Israel. They want to know what I'm drinking. Does anybody in the chat room want to tell him? Must be new here. There we go. There's the fake PCs. Do I need to retitle my video Fake PC? Do you ship to North Carolina? I ship to anywhere in the continental United States, coast to coast. Did someone say they were from Chile? Anytime you guys want to type a question that starts with, what's the difference between? Please don't ask that. Just go into Google. You have the answers right at your keyboard. Type into Google, what's the difference between, and then fill it in. And Google will answer your question. I don't know why that's... Houston, Texas says hello. Hello from Australia. Hello from Ireland. Washington. Indiana. Arkansas. Pablo, I'll say your name if you stop typing in all caps. That's really, really annoying. Hey, if I annoy you, will you pay attention to me? Please? Please, please? Hey. Hey, 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 hey. Is this bothering you? Hey, 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 hey. Michigan's in the house. Hello from the United Kingdom. Bangladesh, Bulgaria, New Zealand, Nova Scotia, Canada, Pakistan, Moscow, who else wants attention? Let's just get it all out of the way right now. Come on. It's going to make you feel good if I say your name. What do you got? Hello from ugly New Jersey. Are there two? South Wales. Boy, I hope to go to Wales someday. Love the Welsh accent. I think I hear the, I don't hear the drive spinning, so I think we're good to reboot, restart the computer. Let's turn this around. I'm gonna wrap myself up in this cable for the end of this live stream. You watch. You see a live strangulation. Computer tech strangles himself with HDMI cable. Okay. So you can see it's a very solitary job. I mean, if you're someone who likes to be alone, being a self-employed computer tech will certainly fit the bill there. So let's go back to menu, back to imports, input source, and then HDMI. I'm starting to remember where those menu buttons are now. Grab my keyboard and mouse. And let's get that plug in back here. And then click yes. So here we go. We're going to do our first reboot. Then I'm going to install the Asus utilities next and see what kind of an overclock we can get out of this bad boy just as it's sitting. And maybe, let's see, I got to put the Samsung Magician software on, the NZXT cam software, so I'm going to have to get it hooked up on the network after this. You'll find at this point there's no network hookup at all. No printers hooked up, there's no USB flash drives. When you're building a system for the first time, because you don't know if everything's working properly, you don't want to just slap everything on it. Think of it like this. You cook a hamburger, let's just say. You make something, I don't care what it is. And before you dress it up with all of your side dishes and toppings, you want to make sure that the main thing you cook, the foundation of it, is cooked properly. Otherwise, you have to scrape all that off and all your sides are going to get cold. You have to go put it back in the grill or on the stove and heat it until it's properly done. So you always make sure that everything's, it's no different than cooking. Make sure that it's cooked the way you want it to be cooked before you add all your toppings and add your sides. With the computer, it's the same. You want to make sure that everything you built properly is working. You don't want to add any other additional items that could potentially be something you have to diagnose. So if we know all of this works, then when we add a flash drive, like if you remember yesterday when I plugged that particular flash drive in, the system would not post. And you'd think, oh my gosh, I built the computer wrong. Well, no, because I already knew the computer booted without the flash drive first. I didn't just go, all right, I'm going to assume it works and slap the flash drive in and update the BIOS. That's not the order of why I did that. And the reason was because of that very thing. It happens all the time. You add one thing and all of a sudden nothing works. You know the thing you added is the cause. It makes life so much faster, more efficient, and you can get things done. People think if I just add it all right now, I'm saving time. If you're lucky, you're saving time. But if there's any incompatibility or slight mistake, where do you start? It's overwhelming. You go, gosh, I have to diagnose this, and I've got all these things. Where do I start? So if you go, well, I'll just take half of it apart and see if the other half works, and it does, then you have to start adding the other half piece by piece until you figure out which of those things didn't work. Anyway, it's very time consuming, it's very inefficient. So that's the logic why I do it the way I do it. Remember, people are being charged hourly for my time. So we want to make sure that we're giving them the best value for their money and not sitting there and, you know, milking the cow, if you will. There are techs that do that. There are techs that will, what we do, we call it milking the job, where they make a job take much longer than it should take as a way of artificially inflating the bill. And, you know, if you're not a tech, how would you know the tech's doing that? All right, so going over to utilities, do I see Kaspersky? See, Kaspersky's not in this list, so where did it come from? This is what I don't understand. I have the Artificial Intelligence Suite, the ROG Connect Plus, Daemon Tools, Keybot 2, Mem Tweakit, RAM Cache, RAM Disk, CPU Z, Game First WinZip, and there's nothing else, right? Oh, look at that. All right. So then there's Asus Web Storage, Aura, that's the RGB lighting controls, Clone Drive, and then there's the Kaspersky antivirus for Asus. So I'm going to uncheck Kaspersky. I don't know what this clone drive is. And the description just says install clone drive. Well, thank you for that clarification. Asus Web Storage, not installing that. WinZip, I'm not installing that. Game First 4, that's fine. ROG CPU Z, no. RAM disk, RAM cache, yeah. I just hate to put stuff in if the customer's not going to use it. So I guess what throws me is when I roll the mouse wheel, this is not moving up or down. I actually have to go over to the side and use the elevator bar. Did you know that was called the elevator bar? ROG Connect Plus. Yeah, that's, well, on the host to run full function of ROG Connect on the remote. Don't need that. Daemon Tools, don't need that. Keybot, I don't know, he might want that. Mem Tweakit is probably something he's not going to need, but I'll leave it on there. Okay, so that's a long list of utilities. And I think that looks good. So let's go ahead and hit install. It's going to require a reboot. That's fine. All right, let's switch back. See what excitement I am missing in the chat room. Come on, why you give me a hard time? Why you gotta be like that? Necrom21221 wants to know if the thing that says live stream is live. Daisy says hi to Jimmy and Lyle. Where is Jimmy? Hey, Jimmy! Jimmy Jim! Jimmy Cocoa Puff. There he is. There he is. Hi, buddy. Here, let's go see where. Let's go stand over here. Come here. Maybe we can see you. Come here. Come around here. Oh, let's turn this around. Let's turn that around. All right. Come over here. Can you see you over here? There. Kind of see you. You kind of see you, boy. There he is. There he is. Oh, you're such a good boy. You're so quiet. Oh, rub your head the wrong way. Yeah. Oh, rub that face. Oh, yeah, rub that face. Oh, scruffy, scruffy. You're so good boy. You're so good boy. Yeah, but you got bad breath, though. How come your breath is so bad? Why's your breath so bad? Because I feed you junk? Is that why? What do you think? You've been here like 3 weeks now. You gonna like this place, or are you bored out of your mind? Better get used to this, kid. You better get used to it. You want to hand me my tools? If I give you a screwdriver, let's see if I can. It might be too heavy. You want to hand me a screwdriver? Hey, want to hand that to me? No? I wasn't asking you to clean it. No? Nothing? You're a good boy. All right, well, there's Jimmy. Ugh. All right, I gotta wash my hands now. Sorry, buddy, but you stink. All right. That's better. What do we got? Yeah, I wish he was my cameraman. Do having the industry standard certifications help being in the computer business? Only if your employer requires them. Jimmy better not do that. You guys are spelling Jimmy's name wrong. He spells it like Jimi Hendrix. Greetings from Greece. Do I know any programming? I learned Pascal and BASIC and COBOL. Is it COBOL? I don't even remember anymore. It was a long time ago. I don't like programming. It's not my thing. I don't like people telling me what to do. I like to make my own stuff up. And when you get into programming for a living, you're basically writing programs for other people, and they tell you what they want. It'd be like if you're a painter and you want to paint landscapes and you can't make any money from that, so you end up painting Campbell's soup cans. Yeah, just, I don't know. I don't see any real freedom of expression. Those are old languages. Well, I'm an old guy, and that's what I learned. You know, my father learned RPG2, which is before me. Yes, Jimmy is spelled J-I-M-I. Thank you. Hello from Alabama and England. Cheers, England. Jimmy needs skincare? Jimmy doesn't need skincare. Jimmy needs lots of loving is what Jimmy needs. Yeah, things like languages like Python and C# and all that other, you know, Java, C++, that was all after me. Even Visual Basic. I'm old school, you know. I open up Notepad and get to work. I don't do visual. I'm sure it's a lot easier nowadays where you just can put in these APIs and such. We did everything by hand. Is Jimmy a good boy? Jimmy's a very sweet boy. Very sweet boy. Then, of course, you have database programming, right? SQL and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's not my thing. But that's the great thing about computers is that you get to express yourself in whatever it is that interests you, whether it's repair or network administration or network architecture or programming, database design, spreadsheets, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. These things can get crazy complicated. So for a while I was like a madman with batch files. I could make a batch file that was, 15K in size. It was all done by hand. And I remember, I'll tell you a story. We used to, I worked at the power company, and they put us in the basement. That's where the IT department goes, in the basement. And they said, we have to collect these old PCs and we have to run this routine on them that basically formats the hard drive. It does a couple other things, and we were doing this all by hand, and it was taking a while, and I said, why don't we just automate this? Why are we repetitively doing the same thing over and over and over again? We can automate this with a batch file. And I said, oh yeah, you know, go ahead and do it. So I wrote the batch file. Took me, I don't know, 45 minutes. Put it on a floppy disk. That's what we used back in the day. And I went to the very first coworker, and I said, all right, you're going to go pick up an old PC that has to be wiped, right? He goes, yeah. I said, okay. Instead of going through that whole routine, just put this floppy disk in and type go. That's the name of the file, go.bat. Of course, you don't have to type the .bat. Just type go. He goes, well, how do I use it? I go, just type go. I said, it's so easy, a monkey could use it. So I send him off, and I'm very proud of myself. He comes back, and he's got the computer with him. He goes, didn't work. I go, what do you mean it didn't work? There's no possible way that did not work. A monkey could do it. I told you a monkey could do it. And I swear to God, the guy looked at me, and he went, oh. So I said, all right. Show me what you did. Let me see what you did. So we hooked the computer up. He puts the floppy disk in the drive, and he types A:go. I'm like, no, that is not what I said to do. So it broke the program because the program was making calls to other programs, DOS programs, that were on the A drive. But since he was running it off the C drive and typed A:go, it said, go out to the A drive, grab this program, and run it over here on the C drive. And when the program would say, you know, run this command or run that command that weren't on the root of the C drive, it crashed with file not found. So I said, you know what? It's more difficult to train you than it is to fix the problem. And the easy fix for this problem was to make the very first command of the batch file A:. So whatever drive you run it from, it jumps over to the A drive and then executes. It was 2 characters, A:, and it completely changed that batch file. And it's interesting when you write a program and you intend for it to be used a certain way, and then you give it to another technically competent person, and they don't run it in what you would consider to be the way it's supposed to be run, and they think that's the way it should be run. So anyway, it's a lesson learned, and the program was used as a regular routine, and it made everybody's life easier, and it added a level of consistency that ensured that no steps were ever skipped, regardless of what tech was doing the job or how long they were doing it, you know, how much experience they had, or whether or not they were distracted. It was absolutely perfect. And then I did one when I worked at Intel, and it was, they had a huge mistake update that went out, and it affected all these people with laptops. And the fix was about 15 or 20 pages of do this, then do this, then do. And it was like my first day at Intel, and I said, why are we doing this? Why don't we just make a batch file to do this? They said, well, if you know how. And that one took a while, and I coded it out. And that was my first day at Intel, and they were just so elated at what to me was very simple and logical, that instead of asking these people to follow these 15 or 20 pages of instructions that nobody has time to do, or they have to bring their computer into me and have me do it, they then issued this corporate-wide across the entire globe to all the Intel employees all across the globe and said, run this file to fix the bad update. Boom, was solved in minutes instead of hours. And you know, I'm really proud of that stuff. So batch files were incredibly helpful. I haven't written one in a long time. I don't hear the drive anymore, so I think we're good to reboot. As I regale you with stories of back in the day. When I was your age, we walked uphill in the snow both ways with my little brother on the back for a nickel. All right, let's see. Let's go back down to menu. Input source. HDMI. There we go. Gonna need my keyboard and mouse again. You know, I would get 2 keyboards and mice, but then I get them confused. It's easier to just bounce back and forth between the one. That way I don't have to worry about using the wrong mouse or hitting the wrong key, and then I end up stopping my live stream by mistake. Installation is complete. Please restart. Okay. Now when we restart, we can run the Asus auto tuning feature, where we can, once again, we can run the test on the fans and on the, see what kind of an overclock we can get. We can also monitor our temps. We should see pretty low temps right now. If the water block or your CPU heatsink is not completely flush with the CPU, you're going to see really high temps, and that's one way you'll know if it's not flush or not, because you really want the heatsink or the water block to be on that CPU lid very firmly. So this is what I saw before, where I got this blue screen after I removed Kaspersky, which is interesting because I didn't install Kaspersky before. So that tells me that there may be an issue with the configuration in the BIOS that's causing that. So it's pretty unusual. I'm a little surprised. Usually a new install, you don't see these kind of problems. However, I do have XMP turned on, and maybe the XMP is not properly configured. Let's see. Yeah, so this is what it was doing yesterday after I removed Kaspersky. And it's giving us a, what is this? System PTE-MIS misuse? Misuse? Thought that was a code. I'm reading the letters like it's a, okay. Well, this is a first. Let's see, let's go into the BIOS. I might have missed it. Did I get it on time? It did. Let's go F7 into easy mode, and let's, oh, it says XMP is disabled. Well, that's not the problem. Everything looks good in here. Yeah. Good. Good. Well, something's giving us grief. Let's set the BIOS back to defaults. Now we're at defaults. Let's save and exit, which is F10. Then I'll probably get a CPU fan speed error, right? Because it's going to default that. Let's see. Yeah, there's our CPU fan speed error. So I got to tell it not to monitor the CPU fan, which is over under monitor, CPU fan speed, where it says not available or not applicable. We'll say ignore. Everything else is fine. Hit escape. No, I don't want to quit without saving. Whoops. I did anyway. All right, we'll do it again. What do you mean, please wait? I haven't done anything. Looks like Windows didn't load correctly. See advanced repair options. See, I don't want to do a repair on a brand new installation. Let's turn it off. Okay. Let's bring it back up. Let's go back in the BIOS. Yeah, there's our CPU fan speed error. Because I didn't save it. So let's do this. Let's go back to monitor, CPU fan speed, ignore, and then go to easy mode, and let's turn XMP on. I mean, it's not like it's gonna not crash, right? Would you like to apply core enhancement? Yeah, sure, why not? Probably shouldn't do that right now, but usually you want to make sure the system's all running good and exactly the way you want before you start tuning it to run faster, but at this point I feel like I don't have anything to lose. I want it to crash faster. So one of those applications on the Asus driver utility disk probably is not compatible with the creator's update. That's what it seems like is happening. The problem is I don't know which one it is. So if you guys in the chat know which one that is, please tell me. Otherwise, I have to go through installing each one individually and restarting the computer. And then when I figure it out, I can wipe and reinstall all over again. So let me get this, let's see, let's get a blue screen going here. We get the desktop, and at some point it's loading something that we're getting a blue screen. It's a page fault in non-paged area on iomap64.sys. So that's the name of the file, iomap64.sys. So here's where you guys can be techs. Look that up for me and tell me which of the Asus utilities that belongs to. And while you're doing that, I'm going to shut this off and do a fresh install of Windows again, because it only takes a minute. And I don't want to repair a brand new computer. I want this computer to be running 100% perfect, so that when the customer gets it, they're the ones who can cause it to crash, not me. I don't want any detritus or any leftover app files that are not absolutely necessary. I want this a nice, clean, fresh install. All right, so let's, oh wait, I want F8. F8, 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 F8. F8. Come on, let's go, any day. F8, F8, hello, F8, any day. There we go, thank you. UEFI, boot to the USB, please, thank you. And then you see this is not a big deal. Not happy about it. It's not the end of the world. There's something incompatible. I'm sure if I installed the previous version of Windows 10, I wouldn't have this problem. That's what it's got to be. And I'm sure the forums are filled with information. Windows setup cannot install one or more boot critical drivers. So the reason that has to be happening now when it didn't happen before has got to be that XMP profile. So let's go back into the XMP and turn that back off. You only want to solve one problem at a time, trust me, because if you're trying to solve 3 or 4 problems, whew, it's enough to wear you out. So these are overclocking presets. So I just want to turn, let's just put this to auto, and then we'll exit and save changes and reset. Yeah, I shouldn't turn that on. But now I know. Actually, I knew before I did it, but one thing at a time, one thing at a time. There we go. Go back to F8 whenever I get a boot screen here. Okay, choosing the flash drive once again as our boot drive. So one of the things you will quickly pick up as a computer technician is the repetition, the things that you continually do over and over and over again. And then that makes results with people thinking you're smart. But what it is you've just done this 80 million times. And well, this is different now. Windows setup cannot install. All right. So then the other problem may be that, so you think of everything that's different, right? We're going to take this driver disk out. This Asus DVD driver disk may be causing this. I want to think about what's different about my installation now than it was 10 minutes ago when we did it the first time. This is new. I haven't seen this before, so I'm just trying to put everything back the way it was, just to verify that something isn't wrong with the computer. So beyond that, oops, I don't want F2, I want F8. Come on, let's go, let's go. It's going to work this time. See that? And all the difference was taking this disk out. It wasn't the XMP profile. It was this. Fascinating, isn't it? There's a lot of stuff you just aren't going to find on other people's YouTube channels that do reviews because they just don't encounter this kind of stuff. This is again, I want to emphasize, this is all real. This is really reality. I mean, you spend $3 grand on a system and you got a driver disk that was probably sitting in a box since, I don't know, January. So the driver's, not the driver, but there's a utility that's not compatible with the creator's update. So we're going to do a fresh install again. Fascinating stuff, isn't it? Skip the product key. It's another reason not to enter your product key. So you're sitting there reinstalling. Windows 10 Pro is what I want. And then accept the license agreement. Custom. Delete all of the drive 1 partition. Usually it would be drive 0. When you're on unallocated space, notice there's no option to delete because there's nothing to delete. Unallocated means there's nothing there. Not to be confused with reallocating, which is what United Airlines does to its customers. That's reallocating versus unallocated. See that? That's my topical humor. Hilarious, I know. Okay. Begin. All right, let me switch over to the chat and see what I'm missing. I'm sure you guys have given me all the information and I've not been able to see it for obvious reasons. Input source. DVID. Okay guys, so which utility was it? I'm looking at the chat now. Somebody had to give me that answer, right? When I wasn't looking. Did anybody give me that answer? Which Asus utility is using the IOMAP64.sys? Anybody? I hate this delay. Get 2 monitors, get more cameras, go to your vault and pull out some gold, run some more cables and plug in some more power and Asus driver DVD. IOMAP says it's not system critical. Okay, but where did it come from? Which of the Asus utilities installed that? It wasn't any of the Asus drivers. It's part of the Asus PC probe. Okay, but which Asus application, when I went through the list, installs the Asus probe? Asus Smart Doctor. I don't recall seeing Smart Doctor as an option. It's got to be part of something else on the DVD. Yes, PC Probe and Smart Doctor. I don't recall seeing either of those as an option. What application are PC Probe and Smart Doctor a part of? See, this is when it comes down to when you want something done, you've got to do it yourself. Come on, guys. You got 530 people in the chat. Somebody's got to know. You're going to make me look it up? It says Asus Smart Doctor. I don't recall there being something called Asus Smart Doctor. You guys not listening to what I'm saying? On the check boxes of everything that you can select, there was nothing called Asus Smart Doctor. Smart Doctor is part of something else. AI Suite, there, that makes sense. If Smart Doctor is part of the AI Suite, but is it? The question mark doesn't answer the question. The Asus Suite, yes. The Asus Suite is everything that I just installed. Which of those things? Only install the Asus AI Suite. I like this. It says, berate us. We want to help you more. Now you know what it feels like. Now you know. I got through to somebody. I got through. You guys do that to me all the time. That's all I deal with. Okay. Overclocking and monitoring. It's Asus memtest. I don't believe I installed Asus memtest. It's power designed for 3 major goals. Overclocking. No. Okay, well, let's see how our install is going, and let's switch back. Oops. How are we doing over here? Oh, perfect timing. Run our first reboot. Yeah, I don't want to install the application and then boot into safe mode and then delete a file. I want a clean installation. It's a brand new computer. Everything has to be 100% perfect. If I'm putting my name on it and my reputation's on the line, I'm not looking for a Band-Aid. I'm not looking for something to scrape by. It's got to be 100% or nothing. So it's obviously one of the drivers on that disk that's causing the problem. And like I said, even having the disk in the drive that wouldn't even boot up right. So that's interesting to me. And I'm not going to get too hard on Asus about this because the Windows Creator Update just came out. And so when you're an early adopter and you're one of the first people to get anything, you sort of have to deal with these type of aggravations until the manufacturers get caught up. However, the update was made available during beta testing, so the manufacturers would be ready by the time it was released. But it's not like they can go back to the box, that all the distributors have in the warehouses and stick a piece of paper in there that says, be sure and download the latest driver or something, or the latest utilities from the website. But let's just check this out here real quick and let's see what it looks like. One thing's for sure, you get a good idea of how Windows 10 installs throughout this live stream based on the sheer number of repetitive installs that I'm having to do. Because once again, I want it perfect. So the only way I'm going to get it perfect is nice clean installs until I get it right. We're going to skip that. The user's name in here again. Okay. All right, so we are almost on a clean install. And I will say, thank goodness that Windows installs as fast as it does. Back in the day, you'd have a stack of floppy disks, insert disk 1, insert disk 2, and the system would just wait if you walked away, insert disk 3. And so doing a reinstall was very discouraging. Now, on a modern computer with a USB 3 flash drive with Windows, not a big deal. The bigger deal is getting everything set up after the install. And that's when everything's working like it should be, getting all your drivers and activations and programs and product keys and, configuring the screen the way you want it and your wallpaper, all the little customizations you do to make it yours. That's really the time-consuming part. So let's take a look here at, I'm going to get ready to put this disk in. And we will do the Drivers. So the drivers we don't have any problems with. It's just those, one of those utilities, and I will figure out which one it is. We can eject. Well, let's click on that. Let's run that. Yes, and let's eject the flash drive. We don't need that in there. Thank you. Driver, special offers, install. Okay, let's go back into chat, see what's going on in chat. Get a tablet so I can read the chat. Yeah, you guys have all kinds of solutions that involve money I don't have. Anybody who wants to, you know, send me a tablet or send me another computer or send me another screen so you can watch your videos for free and tell me how to do it, that's great. Thanks, guys. And when you guys ask me how to solve your problems, I'll just go buy a new computer. Just go buy a new one. Very helpful. All right. Is that biting sarcasm enough for you? Let's see. What was I doing? Turning this around. What do we got going on? He's getting salty. I think people will find I treat them the way they treat me, right? So if somebody's very kind and courteous, I'm kind and courteous. And if somebody's very inconsiderate and rude, I'm just a mirror. That's all I am. Those of us who are not trolls are leaving. I guess he's speaking on behalf of all of you. Process is Smart Doctor. Okay, Brian text there. So Brian, which utility is Smart Doctor a part of? That's the part I'm trying to get to. Because when you put the driver DVD in, there's nothing that says Smart Doctor. It's got to be a part of something else. You inspire me not to give up by doing the live streams. Well, this is one of the one of the things that comes along with live streaming. You know, when you put yourself out to the public, there's people who are just going to attack you. You know, they get off on it, or they think they're smarter than you. They, don't listen to anybody that's never done anything to tell you how to do something. Smart Doctor program is under Smart Doctor. So Brian, it doesn't tell me what application it's on. I'll just scroll by. Darn it. What are the utilities listed? I will tell you, we'll look at the utilities again. Right now it's installing the drivers. We'll look at the utilities again here in just a moment. Smart Doctor is to do with Asus graphics adapters. We're not using Asus graphic adapters. I asked Brian nicely because Brian actually provided me the information, and I know Brian, and I know he's not yanking my chain. Not that he never does. See, what you guys fail to realize is you know me, but I don't know you. So some of you may be sincere, and some of you may be goofing around. It's very difficult to tell the difference, other than by what you respond to in chat. So, yeah. Yeah, it is a strange thing, like I say, when you put yourself out in the public and people act like they know you. which is weird. I still hear the Blu-ray drive going, so Joseph says he's sincere. Thank you, Joseph. All-in-one cooler software. Haven't even gotten that far, GeoSam. Turn off chat? Why? Change that graphics card color. I don't think it's possible to change the color. Okay, well, I still hear the drive, but I want to, let's see how it's doing here. Sorry, you guys aren't going to be able to see this, but there may be nothing to see. Let's see. Input source. Back to HDMI. Where are we at? We're at 76%, so it's still running. Still installing drivers. So all I'm trying to determine at this point is which of the Asus utilities Smart Doctor is installing with. I gotta grab my mouse and see what's going on. Some stuff to scroll by. Scrolling by too quickly, guys. Give me that. All right, let's see what we got going on. The website says Smart Doctor is its own program. And somebody else says Asus PC Probe. Smart Doctor is not part of the modern Asus software suite. Look at the Maximus 9 page. Smart Doctor is not there. Asus PC Probe has been found to be the top cause for this. Okay, so which Asus utility includes the PC Probe? Yeah, I'm well aware I can go to the Asus website and download. I guess you guys don't understand the way. So when you're a technician, many technicians, in order to learn and to further their education, they're not just interested in solving the problem, they want to know why. So that's what I'm saying. I want to know specifically which Asus utility on that disk is including the utility that's causing the problem, so that I know I only have to download that one, and I know to tell other people to be aware of it when they're installing, rather than say, just don't install any of it. It's a very vague, generic, lazy answer. So that's the way I roll. I want to know which one is it. So I guess I'm going to have to figure it out myself, because out of 537 people in the chat, nobody can tell me. So once again, when you are working on your computer, what I have found is people care more about their own computer than they care about anybody else's. But as a technician, you have to care about your customer's computer more than you care about your own, at least if you want to be successful. And so what I'm going to do now is, yeah, Sherlock Holmes, yeah, I'm going to go through the process of elimination, of deduction. I've heard the DVD drive stop, so we can go ahead and let me restart this computer. And input source, HDMI. Yeah, we're ready for a reboot, so let me grab my wireless dongle here. Plug that back in. Okay, so let's reboot. Let me turn this around so you can see what's going on. We're restarting right now. Is the screen really reflective? Turn it that way. It looks like I get rid of most of the reflection. That's an awful angle. Tilt it down. And it's got to be on an angle. I get really bad. Tilt it up. No, that's as good as it's going to get. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to bring up the Asus driver disk. Windows installs so fast, there's no sense making a drive image. It takes longer to make the drive image than to just reinstall Windows. And let's run the setup. And I'm going to just install every utility until it crashes again. If I'm lucky, it'll be the first one. Let's take a look first at what the names of the utilities are on the disk. Let's see what our choices are. I don't recall seeing anything called PC Smart Doctor. Maybe it's there and I didn't see it, but I don't recall seeing it. That's all I'm saying at this point, Your Honor. Okay. Asus AI Suite, Asus ROG Connect Plus, Daemon Tools, Keybot, Mem Tweakit, RAM Cache 2, RAM Disk, ROG CPU Z, Game First, WinZip, Asus Web Storage, Aura, Clone Drive, and Kaspersky. So I'm going to deselect everything but the first one. And we're just going to go through this the hard way. Dump, 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 and dump. And we're just going to use the AI Suite. And nothing else is selected. And install. See what happens. It is an interesting observation that when I look at the comments a lot of times on repairs, all these people say, oh yeah, I already knew that was the problem. But in a live stream, those people that have all the answers don't have the answers. It's interesting to me. And then I'm sure that after I post, once I discover which of these applications is causing it, someone will say, oh yeah, I knew that. I love you guys. All right, this is a pretty big utility actually. It looks like it's taken about 5 minutes. Time for me to get another Coke. That's what I think it is. It's Coca-Cola time. Or maybe I need some, let's see, what else do I have in here? Let's see. Got my cocaine. I'm not really big on energy drinks, but, and maybe I'm biased because I know the guy who makes it, but this is a really good energy drink, and I really like the warning label. I don't know if you guys can read that warning label. Is it going to focus? It's a fantastic warning label. Let me read it to you. Warning, this message is for the people who are too stupid to recognize the obvious. This product does not contain the drug cocaine. Duh. She says duh. Parentheses. This product is not intended to be an alternative to an illicit street drug, and anyone who thinks otherwise is an idiot. See, that tastes good to me already. I haven't even had any of it. It's just like Monster Energy or Red Bull or any of the other countless other energy drinks. And I find it hilarious. I just think it's great. And it actually tastes pretty good too. He's not a sponsor of the show. He sent me a couple cases of it, and he's a cool guy. And I like it. I don't drink the whole can. I mean, once I get down to about that far, I'll put the rest in the fridge for later. No, wait, that's not enough. There we go. Woo. All right. Restart your computer to complete the installation. Okay, here we go. One down. How many to go? Any more? Are we going to get the problem now with this one application? Come on. What's it going to be? Are we going to crash? This is normally where it would crash. We're good. We're good. All right, let me pop over in... Wait. Let me start the disk back up again. Let's go back to disk. Let's run setup. And then let's go back over to utilities. And let's just, so it knows we've already installed the Asus AI Suite 3. That's not the problem. We know that. Let me deselect everything. Okay, that's good. Now, the next thing is ROG Connect Plus, which I don't think I selected. I think that was for, yeah, hosts and remotes. So I didn't even install that. Daemon Tools I did not install. Keybot I did install. So let's do Keybot next. And while that's installing, let me see what you guys are saying. Carey, do you even drink water? I drink a lot of water, yeah. Let's see. Borrow my wireless keyboard and mouse over here so we could take care of a little business. Let's see what we have. No, I'm not going to create a restore point. I'm not doing that on a, again, I am not going to restore a computer that I'm going to deliver to the customer as a brand new machine. No way am I doing that. Everything has to be done 100% correct. There's no fixes on a new computer. Not acceptable, not in my world, not on my watch. I don't run my business like that. You want to do that to your computer, you knock yourself out. I'm not doing it. Brian, you ought to join me, man. You ought to, I don't know, we could get a Skype going maybe. I can capture it and throw it up on the live stream. I don't want to scare you away. I mean, hang out in the chat, but I'm just saying here, welcome to join me on video. You know, for those of you who didn't watch yesterday's live stream, it's always nice when Brytech09 stops in. Brytech09 is the name of his YouTube channel. And he's got a lot of videos up there, a lot of showing you how to remove viruses, ransomware, how to use certain things in Windows, features, programs, cloning, backing up. Fantastic channel. And be sure and check him out if you haven't before. He's a good guy. We used to hang out a lot in a little, it was a, I don't even know what you'd call it, sort of a podcaster's hangout. So everybody was a broadcaster, and we used to do that once. Saturdays or Sundays we used to hang out in there and just talk smack. It was all good times, good times. Okay, are we ready to reboot? Yes, we're ready to reboot. Let's see what happens. Need my keyboard and mouse back over here. And restart. All right. Normally when you build a new computer, this wouldn't happen. But again, I want to emphasize that we're installing the latest version of Windows. And if there's a significant update like this creators update, there's going to be some drivers that aren't going to be compatible. It's inevitable. Probably, gosh, for all the inventory to clear out, I'd have to wait about, I'd say about 3 months. So by June or July, we shouldn't have these problems anymore. Turn that. We don't have any problem yet. So far, not able to duplicate the problem. So I have not installed the offending utility yet. Video, what do I want? This PC, drive, setup, close. Yes. Ooh, feel that caffeine kicking in. Hello. Back over to utilities. So it shows we've got the Asus AI Suite 3 and the Keybot 2 installed. Now memtweakit, people were mentioning that memtest was causing it. Maybe memtest is part of memtweakit? Well, that's the next one down on the list. Rather than choosing things randomly, instead of saying, I think it's more than likely this app or that app, it gets too confusing unless you start taking notes. So I'm just going to work my way down. And because I did not install the Asus ROG previously, nor did I install the Daemon tools, those I'm not going to install now because they weren't part of the equation. So we'll do memtweakit, and I'm thinking maybe that's the one that's causing the problem. But nothing says smart doctor. There's no smart doctor in that list. Well, that didn't take long at all to install. All right, let's reboot, see what happens. I better put this, if I keep sipping on this, I'm going to be bouncing off the walls. Be like Beavis. All right. Maybe I will get some water. Let's get rid of that. Go right there for now. All right, what's happened? Have I missed anything exciting? Oh, still nothing. It'll be the last one, right? It's going to force me to go through everything I want. It'll be the very last one. I'm so pessimistic. All right, well, let's go back. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to setup. Yes. I could just copy the DVD onto a USB flash drive. It'd probably run a little bit faster, but 6 of one, half dozen of the other at this point. I got all day. Utilities. All right, so the next thing will be RAM cache 2. What's going on, Jimmy? Jim? How's my boy? All right, let's see what that does. What you doing, boy? Are you being good? Are you being a good boy? Oh, buddy? Can they see you? Come over here where they can see you. They can see you in this corner. You're a good boy. You're such a good boy. Yes, you are. You gonna help me fix a computer? Do you think that IOMAP64 sys is part of which Asus utility you think that is? Cookie? I don't think it's a problem with cookies. Pretty sure. Do you want a cookie? Oh, Lyle heard me. Do you want cookie? I called your name, you don't come, but I asked if you want I asked Jimmy if you want a cookie, and you come in. You're like a cat. All right, come over here. Come here, boys. Lyle, come over here. Come here, boy. Good boy, come here. Okay, Jimmy, go take that. Come here. Can they see you? I don't know if they can see you. Oh, you're a good boy. You're such a good boy. He's like, leave me the heck alone, man. Just give me my cookie. Oh, you're welcome. All right. Let's see how we doing. No problem yet. Everything's still good. All right. Go back. Repeat. What'd you do today? Well, I watched this YouTube live stream of this guy install Windows 3 times and then install 15 different Asus utilities one at a time until the system would crash. Riveting. Man, there weren't any commercial breaks though. Utilities. Okay, the RAM disk is going to be next. Okay, we'll see what happens here. Nail biting, isn't it? So I think a lot of people don't understand being a computer technician requires a lot of patience. It requires a lot of waiting. You make a change, you wait. You tell it to scan for viruses, you wait until it's done. You tell it to go to Windows Update, you wait. So, you know, obviously working on a new computer is much more desirable on a high-speed internet line than working on an older computer. Still don't seem to be having any problems here, so far so good. Because I don't even think we got this little X to appear before, which is part of the Asus utilities. So let's bring this back up. Let's go back to the drive and let's continue. How long have we been running? Hour and 43, okay. You thought building the computer was hard. All right, so ROG CPU Z, I did not install that previously. GameFirst 4, that I did install, so we're gonna do that one next. GameFirst 4, whatever that is. What else are we going to have? Because I don't think I did Aura and I did Clone Drive. And that was it. So these are the last 3 possible culprits. Those are our suspects. Now this one is a pretty big burn. It's saying about 6 minutes. Those other ones I just installed were much, much faster. So let's jump into chat. Let's see, what am I missing? Did I miss anything exciting? Oh, did it already finish? Yeah, it already finished. Never mind, I can't jump into chat yet, guys. You know, earlier when I said it was going to be the last one, maybe I should have started at the bottom and worked my way up. Well, it's still loading. Okay, you got that X again. So that, by the way, that's the fan utility. It should bring up the, you know, how you want your fans speed, right? That's supposed to be the wind, I guess. Let's close that out. Let's move it over here. Let's go back. I love my job, I love my job, I love my job. All right, it's 50-50 at this point. We are down to 2 suspects. Lay your bets, lay your bets. All right, how many of you think that the culprit is Aura? And how many of you think it's clone drive? Go ahead and put yourself out there. Come on, commit to something. Don't be shy. You think it's Aura? You think it's clone drive? I don't think Aura, because Aura just controls the lighting. Only clone drive, I think, would be loading a disk level utility that could potentially be causing the system not to boot. Because I've had similar experiences with the Cronus. So I'm going to skip, no, you know, I'm not going to skip. I'm going to keep following straight down. Stay with the pattern. We're going to do Aura. I mean, what do I know? It could be Aura. It makes about as much sense as anything else. Let's find out. And, you know, when it comes to getting information from the internet, real life experience is undeniable, unquestionable. Versus some forum on Reddit. Hi, boys. So go boys. Go boys. Yeah. You going outside? Gonna go outside? Hmm? Oh, it was Aura. Look at that. It's Aura. Did anybody say Aura 30 minutes ago? Anyone? Bueller? Bueller? Doesn't feel good, does it? People do that to me all the time. All the time. How'd those shoes fit? Okay. All right, good. Now I know what it is. Easy peasy. And let's cut power. Let's put my flash drive back in. We're going to install Windows Fresh and Clean. One last time. Take that disk out. Hey, give me that. Hey, don't you close on me. Thank you. Now you can close. F8. F8. Whew. I feel like caffeine kicking in. You going to save any of that water for the fish? Apparently not. So let's go back and reinstall Windows 10 fresh and clean. Then we'll do the drivers, and then we'll do the utilities, not installing Aura. We'll download the latest Aura from the website. No, 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 that's not what I wanted. I said no. Is that better now, Jimmy? Jimmy Jim? Is that good? Yeah? You're a good boy. You're a good boy. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You monster. You big monster. Okay. It kind of feels like Groundhog's Day. Same thing happening over and over and over again. I don't have a product key. Windows 10 Pro. Accept the license agreement. Custom install. Delete the partitions. Make sure you select the proper drive, hit next. And now I'll join you back in the chat room. I would like to see this kick off and do something. There it goes. Okay. I don't think the caffeine's helping with my patience. Okay. What have I missed? This is not a very good educational video for building PCs. There's plenty of those on my channel. This is definitely not one. If you're a first-time builder, this is not the video for you. Smack it with a hammer. That's the best answer I have heard yet. Now we're speaking my language. All right, what else is going on in here? I'm just kind of scrolling up to see what I missed. I bet Jimmy knew the answer. I think Jimmy knew the answer too. That Aura would work fine on the old BIOS and not the new one. Yeah, it could be a BIOS issue and not a Windows 10 update issue, but that's fine. All right, well, we're waiting. Who wants a shout out? Come on, who wants a shout out? I gotta mean something to you guys if I say your name. I don't know why. Come on, what do you... Brian says to Skype him. Oh, boy, I should be able to Skype him. Let's see, can we... How am I going to do this? Let me think. How can I Skype Brian and bring him into the live feed? How can I do that? Do I need another computer, or can I do it on the same computer? Will Skype share the microphone with the other application, or do we need a dedicated mic for Skype? Unsafe8989 says to give him a shout out. Savage Monster does not want a shout out. All right, Savage Monster, I will not shout you out. Zach Mack says hello. Jakey Pierce, DDLP, Cricurios, Droid RZR Lover, James D needs a shout out. Minecrafter Man, Marcus, Randall Lind, Blade, Robert McCord, The Jobed, Patrick Manny. If you have an unpronounceable name, I don't know how you want me to shout your name out if you're just like bizarre letters and numbers put together. Stony M. Alex McCullough. Perry Heralambidus. Okay, Ben Fitzpatrick and Patrick Fitzben. Francie McCool. Billy Marshall. Gigabyte Running wants a shout out. I'm sure Gigabyte Running's parents are very proud to be Gigabyte walking and Gigabyte working. Brightech said use the Hangout. Okay, let me do that in a minute, Brian. Yes, I will jump in the Hangout. Let me go back to what's, I have to keep my install moving here, so let's go back to the menu. Let's go back to the input source. Let's go back to HDMI. We should be, oops. No. Computer says no. Boom, bye Felicia. All right, United States. I gotta use, damn it. Darn caffeine, it's the caffeine. There we go. Off, 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 off. So if I join the Google Hangout, how am I gonna? Well, there's one way to find out, isn't there? So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to get the drivers going, and then I'll see if I can, I'll turn the monitor around, see if I can get in the Google Hangout. So be hopefully with you here in just a moment. And it would sure be nice to have some other vocal company to join me and criticize me and tell me everything I'm doing is wrong. But it'll be in a British accent, so it'll sound like music. Brian knows I love him. He doesn't like it, but he knows it. I'm kidding. He better like it. All right. Let's get that ready. Thank you. Let's get that ejected. Thank you. Whew, am I wearing this thing out? It's a little warm. Yeah, you know, you'll always see I treat all of my hardware with the respect that modern technology deserves. It's fine. All right, let's get the driver installed. You think you're going to be able to eat that, Lyle? Yeah, it's not going to taste good, is it? No. Want to hand it to me? I guess not. You dropped it, you picked it up. Thanks for nothing, Lyle. Three o'clock in the afternoon here on Saturday, April 22nd, 2017, Phoenix, Arizona. Installing Windows 10 for the 5th time, now that we know the Asus Aura software is the culprit to our headaches, and I will install Windows fresh and clean without any of that Aura nonsense. We'll just download the latest Aura from the website, but at least I don't have to download everything. And the Aura software allows us to change the RGB colors on the board and to add, you know, LED strips and have it all coordinated and whatever patterns you want. If you want the breathing pattern, or I said breathing pattern, or you want a strobe effect or static, you know, you can do all that with the Aura software. And there's a pretty good interview with me and JJ talking about, it might even have been about this board, or the generation before this, when they introduced Aura, and the benefits, how it works, and even a demonstration of how to use it. It was done over on Newegg's channel. And that was my introduction to it. Okay, let's get that plugged back in. Let's get this over here. All right, let's see if I can get into Google Hangouts. Need my keyboard and mouse. Now, I'm going to be from a distance from the mic. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine, mate.
Good, good, because the microphone's about 5 feet away. How about people in the chat room? How about chat folks? Are you guys hearing? Let's see, can I close? I hope I don't hang up on you. Let's see. Yeah, you're still there, right, Brian?
Yes, mate. I'm still here.
All right, all right. Okay, so people in the chat, everybody can say hello to Brian. Brian, you're in, where are you at, Birmingham, England?
No, I'm in London, mate.
London, sorry, didn't mean to offend you. My sister just got back from London. She said it was much, 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 much bigger than she thought it was going to be. Big place.
Yes, it's just, I don't think it's like the size of America, you know, when you do journeys. I mean, 11 miles here will probably take, I don't know, in the centre of London would take you a good few hours just because of the traffic. But,
yeah.
You know, you could probably drive 500 miles in that amount of time in America because the roads are so straight, so clear.
Well, we have a lot of traffic. Well, it depends where you're at, though. You know, the East Coast on America, everything's really tightly compact. You go, in 5 hours, you can drive through 4 states. On the West Coast, in 5 hours, you can be in the same state.
Well, I'm not ignoring all you guys in the chat room there, saying hello, because there's so many of you going hello, and I just can't read.
Well, you can just say hello back. You know what? Let me see if I can move the speaker a little bit closer to my microphone, because they're basically going to hear you through my microphone. Right now, I'm just rebooting the system. The drivers have installed, and we're getting our first reboot after drivers. And now I'm going to reinstall the utilities. Let me turn the monitor around so people can see what I'm doing.
Quite Atlas, I can see you there.
So that was interesting with the Aura software, wasn't it?
Yeah, the thing is, I don't normally use the driver CD. I normally put that straight in the box for a customer, and I'd go straight to the website and download all the latest drivers from there. The reason why is because they're probably, when they built those motherboards, they're probably 8 months old already. They've been sitting in a warehouse, so
well, wait a minute.
Probably way out of date.
Well, but this is a Z270. How old could it possibly be?
Yeah, but Asus are pretty good at updating their drivers, and they update them a lot. If you install the utility software, they normally I get messages every day for updated drivers. So I normally go straight to the website and just download what I need.
Yeah.
I don't normally install any overclocking software on the computer, simply because some of it nowadays is just a one-click overclock, and customers could click on that and cause an overclock on the system that they might not want, especially on the graphics card and stuff.
Well, on the Asus software, it's a little more detailed than that, and you can get a better overclock using the software than doing the overclock utility in the BIOS. I mean, they don't need to use the software. And in most cases, I wouldn't. It just depends on the customer that I'm building for. This customer's a young man, and he's, you know, based on the hardware he selected, I anticipate he's going to want this. And I have found drivers are not as updated as they used to be, personally. And what I don't like about going to the websites is sometimes, not so much the drivers, but the utilities that are on the disk are often not offered on the website for some utilities and some manufacturers. I can't specify, you know, Asus, but I know like with my Canon, the camera I use to film, Canon has a program that comes with the disc, and you cannot download that program. It's like a copyright infringement. You have to have the program, and then you can update the program. And the only way you can get that is either, you know, BitTorrenting or piracy. They don't, or the disc that came with the camera. And I see that with motherboard manufacturers, specifically when it comes to utilities. However, I haven't looked on this board, and I haven't had this problem in such a long time. You know, we'll just call it laziness and overconfidence.
I just think everyone's got their own thing, you know, their own way of doing stuff. You know, I just generally know that the software that comes on the CDs, you got to remember they manufacture these motherboards way ahead of time, and
Sure.
they sit around.
Of course.
And the drivers, I mean, BIOS updates nowadays, whoever thought that BIOSes would have been updated as regular as they are nowadays, and that's because they want to fix a lot of issues. There's a lot of issues with the AMD processors at the moment.
Yeah.
At the moment, and they have to constantly release updates and firmware updates for their CPU just to make it work with certain motherboards. So they do release a lot of updates nowadays on a regular basis.
Well, just to clarify, they're releasing updates on the latest, newest hardware, and that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is latest. This is 270, and you're right.
It's a nice board. I think, Kerry, what I was going to say to you is about that graphics card. Is that an EVGA graphics card? If it is,
Yes.
I think there's a piece of software you can use to change the colour to make it red, so it just all look in nice sync with all the other stuff.
Good. Well, I'll look into that.
I can post it in the chat there, but I can't post the link, so I posted the...
Yeah, you know what? It's going to scroll up, and I can't see both at the same. So hold off on that. I'll ask you to post it when I'm ready.
I think it'll look nice with it all colour coordinated. And the good thing with that Aurora stuff, it changes all the colours automatically as well, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, I did an Aura tutorial with JJ from Asus over at Newegg. I was very impressed with it. So what I'm doing right now, I don't know if you're watching the live stream, Brian, but what I'm doing right now is I'm selecting all of the utilities except Aura, and I'm not getting Kaspersky, and there I was blaming Kaspersky. I was so certain. I'll tell you what was interesting is I did this install, and it worked. And then I uninstalled Kaspersky, and then I got the blue screen. So I have no idea why that happened when it wasn't Kaspersky that was causing it. It was
the funny thing is, though, if that would have been a pre-built machine by a manufacturer, Kaspersky would have been pre-installed on there with a load of other rubbish that you don't need.
Well, I'll tell you what, though. Asus often gives you a one-year license, not a trial. So I'll give Asus credit for that. You know, they're not just throwing on a trial. I don't know that they're doing that with Kaspersky, but that's what they've done in the past. They've said, look...
I do like Kaspersky, though. Kaspersky is one of my go-to antivirus programs. It's probably one of the ones that I like the most, you know.
Have you ever used MCSoft? I really like them.
Yeah, MCSoft's okay, you know. I mean, they're all, you know, it just depends on what floats your boat, really. I mean, as long as you put something on there. I mean, I like Zemana anti-malware and Malwarebytes as well. I mean, pretty much MCSoft's okay. I think Zemana's really, really good nowadays. But there's a good few bits of software out there nowadays you can use.
It's been a while since we've talked. How have you been?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Busy working and, you know, trying to get the videos out and stuff. Now, I did a build the other day. I put a video up of it, and I did a time lapse because my microphone packed up. There's something wrong with it. I was getting some massive interference. So I bought a new microphone and a new preamp and everything else. And of course, the first day I got it, I dropped the microphone and broke the microphone, and then I spilled a pint of beer all over the preamp.
Whoops.
So I had to clean it all up and send it back to Amazon.
At least you did it. At least you did it and not somebody else.
Oh, well, what can you do?
Well, usually mistakes like that only happen once.
Yeah, well, that's why I have a normal I've been doing some product stuff, reviews, but yeah, the build video turned out pretty nice. I had a massive nightmare with that case. Oh my god!
With which case? Which case?
It's the Cooler Master Pro 6.
Did you make a video with it?
I did make a video, but the microphone played, so I did a sort of time-lapse video, and then of course the trolls and the haters and the God knows what come out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
Because I've done something wrong in there, and you know it was bad, dude. I had to delete so many comments. It was just so bad. It was getting to the point where it was not good.
I only laugh because it's happening to somebody else and not me.
Oh no, it happens every day to me.
Yeah.
It happens, you know, every day.
Yeah.
That's what it takes to be a YouTuber nowadays.
Well, I think just
cool.
If you just put yourself out in the public eye in any situation, politician, YouTuber, anytime you're putting yourself out into the public, you're opening that invitation. It's just kick me.
Yeah, well, your trouble is, it's sometimes it comes down to like splitting hairs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like
Sometimes it's semantics.
There's many ways of doing things, and you might do something one way, and then someone will pick out a way and say, "Oh, you could have just done it this way." You know?
Right.
But
wait a minute. Here's the thing, though. I mean, you're a creator, Brian, and I'm a creator. And when somebody who's not a creator tries to tell you how to create when they don't have anything they've created themselves, it's like taking diet advice from somebody who's fatter than you are.
Yeah.
You know, don't do that. Why would you do that? So, but yeah, I will say sometimes the trolls do get me down, and there'll be times when I don't do a video for a couple of weeks because I'm just depressed. I'm not motivated to handle the criticism, and it's discouraging. So but you've known me.
Sometimes it can get you down a little bit,
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a way that YouTube's gone at the moment with this ad. The ad boycotts and stuff. The amount of ads. People think that you're making so much money and stuff like this, and it costs money to do stuff. It costs time and effort. So.
Well, I got a $500 microphone. I got a $1,000 camera. I've got high-speed internet connection I got to pay for. And people, I don't know, I guess they think maybe manufacturers give that stuff to me. I don't know what they're thinking, but whatever. I really don't want to have to charge for my videos, but there's something I've discovered, and that is that when customers actually pay me to do work or for my advice or my guidance, they never complain. The only people who complain are the people who are getting it for free. And I think that's an interesting dynamic, and it's discouraging as a creator to go, why am I giving this away for free to people who feel entitled when the people who are paying for it aren't complaining? You know what I mean? Like if you paid for something and you didn't like it, I can give you a refund, right? But if you're getting it for free and then you feel like, I don't know, it's not up to your standards, but you don't have anything yourself that you can compare it to and say, here's how I did it and that's the way you should do it. I don't know, there's just there's a bit of where the mind, at least my mind, says maybe it's time to start charging, and then that way the people who pay will appreciate and the people who don't go away.
Well, I think it's always going to be a tough one. I mean, you've got people that make content every day that just do stupid videos, just make fools of people, and they're getting hundreds of thousands of views a day and stuff. The stuff I do, or you do, or anyone else does is just educational or just sharing knowledge. And,
right.
There's other ways of doing stuff. Some of my ways of doing stuff, I try to make a video to do one way because someone requests it. And I guarantee you someone will post and say, oh, you can do that with Rufus. Well, you can do that with this.
Right.
Of course you can.
Right.
But there's 101 ways to skin a cat. It's just one way of doing it. And you're trying to mix it up and show different ways to show people that don't know. And there's a lot of educated people even in the chat room. I think I just see someone post up there that anyone can build a computer nowadays. And of course you're right. It's made it a lot easier for you nowadays. Everything's color-coded and,
Oh, and you know what? You remember the days when we used to have to install a sound card, a network card, individual memory chips. So now it's even more like Legos than ever before. There's less parts to screw up. There's less static issues, or electrostatic discharge potential is almost negated completely. And that's the whole point of the videos, are to show people just how easy it really is. And ultimately for people to invest their money in hardware that they actually need. It's like going to a restaurant and you get a meal cooked the way they want to cook it, instead of you saying, here's the way I want it.
But you also get a PC with better components than what you would get if you bought a pre-built PC, say from Pcbuild or somewhere like that. That they cut back, because they're trying to produce a mainstream PC for as cheap as possible, for like $500. You're not going to get a lot of good quality components in there for $500, because obviously they put Windows on there, and they've got everything else on there, and they're trying to give you everything for $500 or 500, whatever it is, pounds. And so they have to cut back somewhere. So, but when you build your own PC, you get much better quality components, branded parts, and of course, you'll get yourself a better PC in the long run,
Well, that's just it. And furthermore, when you build it yourself, you won't be as intimidated if anything were to go wrong to open it up and diagnose it yourself and fix it yourself. So I guess people are saying they're having a little difficult time hearing you. Let me see if I can move the speaker around a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not sure what else that is, reason why that is. I think it's because you're putting the speaker up against the microphone or something.
No, you're picking up through my lapel mic, my wireless mic, which is going through the camera, and then the camera's HDMI out is going into my video capture
I think there is
card.
a way of doing it. I'm not sure how they do it, Kerry, because I don't really do the live streaming sort of thing. You probably can hear me just fine, but they're probably struggling to hear. But I have seen a lot of live streamers do it through via Hangout, and they get really clear audio. But we'll have to look that up and find out.
Oh, listen, there's nothing money can't fix. I can get a mixer and solve this problem.
Yeah, once you get that sorted out.
Yeah, but then it's so many more cables. My wife will kill me to do that in the kitchen. But I just moved the speaker closer to me so it'll pick up. And I see we've got Tim. Tim has joined us. Tim's Computer Repair.
Oh yeah.
So
he's got a good channel too.
Yeah, well, I shared one of Tim's videos. I think it's still there on my channel. The one where customer brought him a laptop that had a CPU that was missing.
I think the thing is, because we're all techs or been around for a long time, I think you can see a lot of this. You see a lot of stuff because you're doing it daily yourself. You're working in the live environment out there and getting the PCs in, and it's a lot more different. It's like building PCs on a regular scale. You get to see all the little troubles that you have to deal with and stuff. And like you said, repetition is one of them.
Yeah.
Installing Windows, doing this, and silly little glitches, and they all take time. Cable management, messing around. I mean, I've learned the hard way. I mean, I taught complete PC level, complete cable management, and then something wouldn't work. And I had to cut all the cable ties, put all the cables out, pull the motherboard out, and send the motherboard back because it had been dead on arrival, and I didn't test it. So that's my own fault.
Well, would you say that's your fault? I wouldn't say that's your fault. You wouldn't expect a motherboard to be DOA. You shouldn't.
It's very rarely fail nowadays. I mean, they do.
Yeah, it's so rare.
I mean, I just had one. I bought an MSI mortar motherboard, which I was going to do a micro build, and the pins had all been bent on the CPU socket, and I didn't notice it until I always checked the pins just to make sure. And as I looked down, they were all brushed flat on one corner.
Ooh.
So I don't know whether they've sent it out to someone and they've sent it back, and they've sent it back out because they couldn't see what was wrong with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had to send it back again, but yeah, they give me my money back, and it's just a hassle,
Well, yeah, and it's also the time.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
You're sitting there kind of stuck in limbo until you have a replacement part. Your customer's waiting, and you've got other work piling up. Sure, we've all been there. But I will say, I haven't seen a DOA part.
Sorry.
I was just going to say, I haven't seen a DOA part with all the computers I build in years.
I was just looking at Randall Lind posting up there. My last Sound Blaster was an Audigy. I remember the Audigy sound cards, and they were awesome back in the day. They really were. But you know what? Today, the motherboard comes with really, really good onboard audio nowadays. They're segregated on their own. You can see where they separate them, and they've got really good platinum caps on them and stuff like that, or gold caps. So they're really good, good sound cards built into the motherboard nowadays. So you don't really need to get sound cards so much nowadays.
Yeah, it depends on the user. Some users, I built that computer for the judge, and the judge told me...
That may be a different case there.
The judge...
If you're an audio or video editing, maybe you want to, but honestly, the onboard audio is pretty good nowadays.
Absolutely.
Years ago, you'd have had to buy a separate sound card and all that sort of stuff. It's pretty much nowadays you don't have to, unless you're doing something specialist sort of things.
Right. Yeah. I was surprised when the judge told me he put, because the Asus board has the ESS sound, which is supposed to be really good, and he said it just didn't sound as good to him as a Sound Blaster, so he put a Sound Blaster card in it, and he's happy. But I was surprised because I didn't think he was an audiophile, and I don't know how much of that's psychosomatic.
I think audio, you know, when you get these audio people that are really sort of anal about microphones and sound and stuff, you know, I mean, it all comes down to a lot of things. Like, you've got quite a good natural deep voice, in my opinion. That comes across good on audio naturally. And some people, you get that whine. Like, if you look at Linus Tech Tips, and this is nothing to do with Linus Tech Tips as a person or Linus as a person, it's just he has quite a high-pitched, whiny type voice, and he doesn't have that natural deep type voice. So he's going to have to do a lot of post work on audio to get that more bassier sound, you know, because obviously it's just the way he's been born with that type of voice, you know. But I'm sure the haters will come out for me saying that.
Yeah, you know, I try to avoid mentioning anybody else's channel just for the sake of, if I hear somebody mention anybody's channel in a positive or negative way, my instinct is to want to decide for myself, and it draws people away from my channel. And I don't want to, you know, I mean, like, I don't consider any other channel competition for what I do. I don't know anybody else who does what I do, and I'm not doing it for the money. So, but it does feel good to have a lot of subscribers. It does feel good to have a lot of video views. And
I think, yeah, you're doing all right, man. I mean, everyone's got their own, you know, their own niche. They do their own thing. You've got your own flavor, your own style, and, you know,
yeah,
it's just the way it is. I mean, if you could sit there and edit the, you know, video to a point where it's cut down to like 6 minutes long, and you got the whole build. I mean, I know a lot of people now doing time-lapse builds. You know, there's a lot of people doing that because they assume that everyone knows how to build a computer, I suppose. But, you know, I don't get that many. I don't get parts on that magnitude, like, say, some of the bigger channels to just do that, so they don't really care whether they sit there for a full 2-hour-long tutorial type video, you know. So they can just crank them out regularly because they're doing one a month. So it's not that. I'm not that fortunate.
Well, how many videos are you putting out now a week?
It goes up and down. I mean, I try to keep things lately because I've been doing a lot of product reviews. It's not been, you know, I've just put a NAS drive one up today, which was quick. I'll probably do a setup one. I've got a keyboard one to do. I know they don't like the keyboard types of stuff, but I want to do some more virus stuff. I haven't done that for a while. Took a break from it for a bit. You know, there hasn't been much decent malware stuff floating about. So
you're complaining.
Yeah,
wait, are you?
Match, you know, keep everyone happy.
Are you saying that there hasn't been any viruses we're talking about? It's all been the same old, same old.
Well, I mean, like ransomware. I mean, ransomware is ransomware at the end of the day. I mean, you've covered so many of them, and you know, let's just cover the point of. You get one on your system, it displays a picture and it encrypts your data, and that's it, and you can't decrypt your files. I mean, what else is there to do? There's no point removing it because you can't decrypt your files. You're pretty much scuppered. So,
yeah.
I mean, you do a few of those. So I sort of like, I did a Star Trek one, so I thought that was pretty cool, to be fair. Getting so, the themes of them are like changing, you know.
Hey!
Yeah.
Hey, look who just joined us in the chat. Kevin Adair has just, I haven't seen Kevin in forever.
I don't know whether my chat is going up there. Let's have a look.
We got the old crew coming in here right now, Brian. This is really neat. I know a lot of the other people in chat are like, we don't know who you're talking about. But Kevin and Tim's Computer Repair and me and Brian, these were all part of the podcast group I was talking about. We used to hang out all together on a weekend day and chit-chat and just talk about nothing. And it's kind of neat to share this with a bigger audience. And does anybody, you know what, let's just take it to the audience. Does anybody have any questions for me or Brian? Right now, for those of you that have been watching the screen on the live feed, the majority of you, you'll see I just went over to NVIDIA and I'm downloading the latest driver for the video card right now. And while that's downloading, I've switched the screen over to the chat so I can join in and just want to see if anybody has. I think one of the things that bothers me is when people ask me questions, they're only getting an answer from me, right? And it would be so much better now that I have you as well as with Tim in the chat, Kevin too, or anybody else that wants to jump in and provide the answers. with different opinions. Like you said, there's more than one way that we do our jobs, and how you go about it and the way I go about it are often very different. But as long as you get the end results you want,
there is no right or wrong way of doing things.
well,
there's working smarter.
as long as it works when you're done, yes, you're correct.
There's working smarter, but there's, as long as you get the job done at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. So that's the way I look at it.
Tim says, when is Brian's next keyboard review?
It's coming tomorrow, Tim.
Tomorrow.
I've got another keyboard. Believe me or not, it's great. I've got am I modulating a little bit there?
It's my speakers. I think my battery may be running low on my Bluetooth speaker here. But
yeah, I've got one tomorrow. I'm going to try and knock them on the head. I've got about 2 TV box reviews coming up as well, which are pretty decent TV box, 4K TV boxes.
What is a TV box?
And stuff like that.
Is it a TV or is it a box? Which one is it?
TV box. It's a box. It's basically an Android box which you can put all your stuff on that you want to put on there. So
streaming, for streaming.
It's the streaming and
like Roku or. Like you mean like Roku?
They're pretty affordable. You can duplex on them and Kodi and stream straight down on them. Live sports, live TV, pretty good stuff. I mean, if you're into TV boxes, then it's good.
Somehow I got Java. I don't want Java. Why is Java on here? Gosh darn it. Well, Java came from somewhere. I wonder if one of the Asus utilities uses Java.
Sorry, am I supposed to be watching the some people asking questions? I've been ignoring it. Sorry. Yeah, ad blocker, yeah. A lot of people talk about ad blocker. I don't try to mention it too much because obviously it being such a small channel that I know a lot of people do use it. But I try not to mention it too much because obviously it entices people to use it even more. And if people did start to do that, then obviously that's going to be the end of my channel and probably a lot of other channels. Bigger channels don't really worry about it too much, but I see a lot of people using Patreon, which is a new thing that people are starting to get into. Well, it's not a new thing, but people are starting to get into it to try and recoup some of the money that they've lost. And stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, people don't realise the amount of effort and time and work that goes into running a YouTube channel, and sometimes just showing a bit of support by watching more of the videos, and also, letting adverts roll and stuff like that. I know people don't like to do it, but that's what gives people a bit of enticement to make more content. So that's my take on it, really.
Was that some?
You can always whitelist. You can always whitelist stuff as well. People don't seem to want to whitelist anything. They just want to block everything.
Well, I think a lot of people don't even realize that. It's irritating to me when you go to watch like the Tonight Show or one of the big network shows, Jimmy Kimmel. When you want to watch any of their clips, so a big television network, they put an ad you cannot skip. Like they don't make enough money already. That they gotta, you know what I mean? They got this huge corporate network, and they force you to watch an ad. Even on my channel, I don't do that. I mean, it will happen randomly from time to time, but on their channel, it's not random, and it's frustrating to me the level of greed that I see. And yeah, I would say if it's a big corporation, skip the ad. But if it's a little guy making a channel, it's a little channel. Click the link, let the ad play. They can make their quarter of a penny.
Well, that's what entices people to make more content, at the end of the day.
Sure.
And
well,
it's the same thing as anything you do on YouTube. I mean, you're giving free, you're giving free advice, free videos.
Free education.
I mean, I go the extra mile and do a forum when getting support, helping people. A lot of people won't even do that. You won't get a lot of channels helping people at all.
Yeah.
I've helped so many people over the years, so it's not as if I'm in it for the money and just taking. I'm giving back more than, more than the average guy. So I sleep okay at night.
Exactly. I'm not sleeping on a bed of money, but I'm sleeping.
Well, I wish I had your money, Carey.
Yeah. You wish you had my debt? Is that what you want? I've often said the thing that keeps me from getting rich is the money I spend trying not to look poor.
Yeah.
All right, so right now I'm installing the NVIDIA driver, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I. What?
Someone wants me to say radiator. I think what fascinates people is British sayings and American sayings are just like totally different. And over the years, I think me and Tim have, you know, listened to certain things. There's certain ways that people, Americans, say things like bonnet and hood and
trunk.
You can go on and on. There's loads of words that
Yeah.
British people say differently. So yeah, but we say router and you say router.
Well, Brian,
tomato,
all you people have to do is speak English,
yeah.
like Americans.
You're doing well as you are, man.
All
She
right.
wants me. John. Oh, it's not she. It's a picture of a woman and a man's name, which is very strange.
Really, on the internet, you find that to be strange?
Nothing I see on the internet is strange nowadays.
Yeah, nothing.
Things open my eyes up to that.
There are no more surprise. Tim, be careful now. It's a live stream. Be careful.
Yeah, I will do. Don't you worry.
All right, let me go back and see what's going on in the chat room here while I'm waiting on this NVIDIA driver. Oh, they're talking about a VAST. I don't know. Didn't a VAST get bought out by AVG or AVG bought a VAST? I think they're both not worthy anymore.
Is okay. I mean, look, if you want to, this is another thing that really makes me laugh is people install it in VAST, right, and then they moan about the advert pop-ups.
Right.
But the thing is, it's free, so they've got to try and get some revenue somewhere. And the actual paid product is sometimes they pop up a message saying you can get this for now for say $7.99. I don't know what it is, but they just say that, right?
Yeah.
So now you can go and get the full premium version for $7.99. It'll remove all the ads. But people don't want to do it, but they still moan at the adverts. I remember the days when you couldn't even get a free antivirus. They weren't worth anything, you know. So you had to go and install McAfee or Norton because they were the mainstream ones available, and you had to pay so much per year. So.
Well, the difference between, you know, an antivirus and any other type of software is the constant updates it requires, and that's a lot of labor that's got to get paid for and a lot of bandwidth that's got to get paid for. It's a never-ending battle, and the fact that they can even give it away for free with the adverts is still amazing. But I feel like it's a situation you get what you pay for. It's just
I'm using Windows right now. I use Windows Defender.
Yeah.
And Malwarebytes I've got on here. Oh no, I haven't. Tell them I've got. Yes, I have. I've got Malwarebytes Premium on it here, and I've got Windows Defender and Zone Alarm Free Firewall. That's what I've got running on this system right now. I used to have a VAST. I've run a VAST for ages, but the reason why I stopped using it because Windows 10 is so much more advanced on security than it is previous versions like Windows 7, Windows 8. Windows XP, they're all vulnerable to malware nowadays, and Windows 10 is pretty much locked down. So that's the reason why I changed my security layer, really.
All right, so I just got the driver installed for the video card. I'm now downloading the Samsung Magician software for the M.2 Samsung 960. Man, I've got to tell you, these NVMe drives are just amazing.
ClamWin, ClamWin. I'm not a fan of it, Alex. To be fair.
Yeah, ClamWin you've got to run manually for antivirus. It's more of a Linux thing. All right, let's run the Samsung Magician. Let's make sure we have any firmware updates available for our.
There's nothing wrong with a spot of tea there, John.
Spot of tea. Nothing more British than a spot of tea.
I was built on a good cup of tea. You should remember that.
All right, let me run the performance benchmark on the Samsung 960. Let's see what we get. I'm expecting about 2,500 megabyte sequential read speed.
Well, you got the 960 in there, Kerry.
Yeah. We're not fooling around.
SSD or the SSD, is it?
M.2 NVMe SSD.
Nice, that's nice.
2,971 megabytes per second read 1,897 megabytes per second write. That's before turning any caching on.
Yeah, I bought the time, which was the ADATA. I think it's SX8000, or I think it's the SX8000, which is not quite as fast as that. I mean, the writes, I think the writes were over pretty decent speeds, but it weren't too bad. But I mean, people moaned at why I didn't get that version, what you're talking about there. And the reason why is because I was on a budget at the time trying to build a system for a certain amount of money. And
don't you get stuff for free?
Which saved me pretty much half the price. And I'd go out and take a performance hit, but, you know, I'm pretty happy with it. I come from the mechanical drive days where, you know, so anything's a boost when you get something like that. SSDs are still pretty decent.
So I'm going to just interrupt here for a minute. Right now, I'm installing the NZXT CAM software, and that allows me to control the NZXT fans and monitor them, as well as the lighting configuration on the water block. And it's free software from NZXT. The NZXT coolers don't come with the software. You have to know to go to the website and download it. They probably mention it in the instructions if I bothered to read them.
Yeah, that's awesome, that piece of software. That gives you a lot of information too. It lets you control the fans and stuff if you set it all up right. Very decent software.
Well,
I've been using it for a while. I use the Kraken X61.
Yeah, that's a good cooler.
The new 62, the X62s, and that's the X62, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's got the newer graphics on there. But I mean, pretty much, I think the X61 still performs pretty well. I think even on par with that new one. So I don't think they've made too many improvements on there.
Oh no, as far as the cooling performance goes, they're identical. But it's really about the lighting controls and that it's not too gamer looking.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Yeah, it's a nice blend of professionalism and gamer, in the design. So let me bring up that CAM software now that we've got it installed, and let's see if we can change the colors and adjust that. It's been a while since I played with the CAM software, so I'm sure there's going to be a different version.
You'll be able to change that color, I think, Carey. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, I can change.
On my X61, I changed it to red, although it wanted red to be used as the warning color. That was
right.
The downfall side, but I mean, I don't mind. I just changed it to red, and it all looked pretty nice. Like I said, once you change the graphics card to red, if it's an EVGA, you can, and then change the wall color. It looked really nice. That looked a sweet build. All the red colors.
Well, temp looked like 30 degrees Celsius. That's a nice, cool temp. GPU shows 41 degrees Celsius. That's not bad.
And but your fans are only running at 25%. Is that at the bottom? I can see. Are you only running on silent mode?
25.
I think you're on silent mode.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's in silent mode.
So 30 Celsius at silent mode is pretty decent.
It shows 33. Pump.
That's just the water moving around on the pump, but yeah, that's going to go up and down. Like, but I think that is that the GPU percentage, 25%, or is that the fan percentage?
That's the fan speed. Then the pump RPM is 1724, and the.
So your pumping is running on half speed. I think that goes up to 3,000.
Oh, does it?
250, something like that.
Oh, okay.
So you're only running on really mild.
Well, we're not doing anything though. We're just at the desktop. I'm not, not pushing.
Yeah, but I think you're on silent mode, which is pretty good. I mean, that's still very good temps for silent mode. I mean, if you crank that right up, that will probably drop right down. You'd make a bit more noise, but it will crank the temperatures down. She's down to 28 there, I see.
All right, let's find a color. I want to make this. Do I want to make it red? Yeah, the whole system's black and red, so I want red. Let's find a good color of red. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, that's nice.
What color you got there?
I got it. Ideally, it's red to match the RAM, and then I'll make the motherboard red too, and it'll also match these front fans that are also red. We'll make everything black and red.
That looks really nice. You can change the speed of that memory. See that memory flashing as well? You can change the speed of that if you want to with some software.
I was wondering about that. I wasn't sure if the memory if you could change that at all. I mean, I kind of like it the way it is, to be honest.
Now. That looks nice.
I think it looks pretty good just the way it is. Now, the question is if I want this NZXT logo to move. Right now it's on fixed. This is breathing. Let's do breathing and see what that looks like.
I like breathing.
Well, wait a minute, but it's breathing in blue. I don't want it to breathe in blue.
Can you not breathe in red? You might need to log out and log back in. I think sometimes you have to make it set.
All right, so there's red, and there it's breathing now. There's a little delay to the stream, but hopefully, you know what? Maybe if I cut the lights, you guys can see this better. Let me cut some lights in here.
I do love the red and black build colours. I like that.
Let's do this. Does that look any better, Brian, with the lights out?
Let's have a look. I'll get a bit of lights out the way. And the perfect line.
Can you see it better now?
Yeah, it looks nice.
All right, so that's breathing. Let's go to the next one. The next one is fading. Let's see what fading.
I don't know why, I like the breathe mode. I even have the breathe mode on the mechanical keyboards. I like the breathe mode where it just pulses on and off. A bit like a heartbeat. I do like that.
You can see now it's cycling through all the colors. On fading, there's something called covering marquee. Ooh, I kind of like that, but can I keep it? Let's just keep it as just one color. Let's set it just to red. Now, what do you think of that? I kind of like that. You see what it's doing? Again, there's a little delay, but
just turn that PC slightly to the right or the left, so I can take the light off the water pump because I can't see. Just turn the case a little bit, tilt it a little bit to the side because you've got the back window there. I can't see.
How's that?
That's it, mate. Nice
Good.
one.
Thank you.
That's it. That's pucker now.
All right.
That looks nice.
Let's do pulse. Let's see what pulse looks like.
I like it.
Oh, I think I like pulse the best.
I've got a bit of delay. Let's have a look. You get all the other colours tidy, mate. That look awesome.
Well, these colors on the back, I'll change those to red too. But I got to download the Aura.
Nice.
I don't know what uses Java, but I better get Java updated. Java, I really don't like having it on a computer, but something.
So the motherboard colours, you can set them as red, all red as well, I think, and the graphics card. So that's going to look.
Well, I don't know about the graphics card though. I don't know if I can change.
No, you can. There's this. Let me post it up so you can see it and try it. There's this software. I can't post the link, but I'll tell you what to post there. And you need to get this software, and it's EVGA.com.
Yeah.
And you'll see the link there. I'll just post it. That's the actual link there. Precision XOC overclock, and there's a color palette in there, just like you're doing there.
Really?
And you can change the color palette.
And is that coming from the manufacturer, or is that a third party?
Yeah, it's EVGA's website. Yeah, it's their software.
Okay, good.
And that'll look awesome. Especially the customer will love that if he gets all that changed.
I'm just playing around a little bit more. Oh, I can even adjust how fast I want that to go. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's good walk, man. I tell you, the only thing I don't like about NZXT is their fans are pretty crappy. To be fair, they don't last very long.
No.
No, but even the case fans, and also the water cooler, the white ones, and they started making this humming noise and a grinding noise, and I sent them back. Because it had a 6-year warranty, they just sent me new ones. Probably people don't even bother doing it, but because it's a warranty on it, they sent them back, no quibble. Your battery pack's dying, Kerry. This message saying battery pack is dying.
Oh, thank you. I'm gonna change the battery out. So what I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna keep it on.
Noctua are a very whoever that posted up there, Theme Stock Photo. Yeah, Noctua is an awesome.
Everybody loves Noctua, of course.
I had an air cooler from one of them, the very first ones they brought out, the big, massive.
Yeah, the DH14.
Yeah, oh my God, it was huge.
I know. I've got a video.
Case.
That thing
worked really well for overclocking.
on my digital audio workstation build, you'll see the expression on my face when I pull that cooler out and see it for the very first time in person. Oh my gosh, that thing was amazing. All right, for the guys in the stream, I am going to interrupt the stream here while I change my battery out, so you know, and we're going to put a little intermission screen up here.
Yeah.
So let me do that.
Quickly nip down and get another beer. 1 sec. Be right back.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to still be here though, yeah?
Yeah, I'm just going to change my battery.
Right. Be right back.
Yep.
We're back online?
Yeah, I am back. Got the battery changed out. My memory card's got...
Get some new batteries.
Oh, these batteries are fantastic.
I just need some... I'm sick and tired. The batteries keep dying. I have to then recharge it.
Yeah, when I finally figured out I could buy extended battery packs, I used to have to change my battery every 45 minutes. Now I can go, right now it says I can go 339 minutes on this battery.
Tech gamer for life. Just gone past midnight in the UK. That's early. If you're going to hang around with us, you better be ready for 5 o'clock in the morning.
That's right. We are old school.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so there's the cam software. Oh, we're at 39 and 40. Well, no, it's cooling down. It must have been because I shut the system down. Okay, so I want to do the 5-way optimization, which I thought was going to start. Oh, it is starting. All right, so have you ever used the 5-way optimization on Asus before, Brian?
What's that, mate? Sorry?
Have you ever used the 5-way optimization Asus utility?
What, for the CPU?
Yeah, it'll do the CPU and the fan calibration.
No, I haven't used that one.
Well, I'm doing it right now. If you look on the live stream, what's happening right now is I've started the 5-way optimization, and it's going to auto-tune and figure out what the best overclock is for the CPU. And I'm just going to go ahead and hit continue. And right now,
overclocking. Am I hearing right?
well, here's the thing. I'm not overclocking it by hand because I don't have time for that nonsense. But with an automated process that can automatically determine a stable overclock, I'm all for that.
It's changed so much.
Oh, it's easy. You just click a button.
Reboot.
The risk is gone. And CPUs now have automatic protections with regards to heat. So you don't have to worry about burning up your CPU anymore.
Yeah, they've got safety measures on them. They'll cut it out.
So right now we got a 14% overclock. We're waiting for a blue screen. It's going to keep ramping it up until we get a blue screen. So you see here it's doing a full core stress test. It shows us the voltage. It shows us the temperature. It shows us the maximum allowed and then where we're at now. And if it succeeds, it'll ramp it up to the next percentage and it'll keep repeating until it crashes. So there we go. We got our blue screen right there. We don't touch anything, it's going to restart itself. It'll know where it crashed and dial it back a notch.
Wow, do you know what? I've never used that software, to be fair.
Isn't it cool?
That looks pretty cool.
I mean, you can't mess it up. That's what I like. The risk is gone. We have an overclock of 11%. That's disappointing. I expect to get a better overclock than 11%.
Well, that's still quite a lot, 11%. That's a fair bit.
I can get 11% with an air cooler. I should see.
Yeah, I think the thing is with water coolers, though, is I think it's just pleasing to the eye to look at. It's a bit more geeky. You got a radiator, you got a pump, you got some colours going on there. I don't think it's anything other than that because, like you said, there's some really good air coolers out there that can perform on par, if not better than some of the water coolers on the market,
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true.
Because, I mean, all right, they may be massive, because they have to be massive to dissipate the heat when you're overclocking, like Noctua. I remember some of the Noctua ones, they were huge. When I got, what was that, Tunix, I think it was, I bought one of those once. I couldn't even get it in the case. It was that long, that high.
Yeah.
I couldn't get it in the case, I could see it back.
I've run into that.
Yeah.
I have run into that as well. That's my ice maker. I know you British people don't believe in ice. I know, what's up with that? Oh, that's why you don't have the sun. You know, my sister just got back from England, and that she said everybody knew she was a tourist because she had sunglasses on.
Yeah, well, we don't get the weather here, man. I mean, we get rain and more rain, or it's cold. It's been pretty okay.
Yeah, but you have green trees and green grass and clean air compared to Arizona. All right, so
the proper heat there. I think Tim gets it where he lives too, the heat.
So just so you see what's going on the screen right now, what we're streaming is this 5-way optimization. So it did the CPU. Now it has checked all the fans. It has slowed the fans down to a stop and then sped the fans up to determine what each individual fan's, what it needs to do to slow them down and speed them up, because every fan is different, right? So that's what it's going through. Now it's doing the, adjusting the power phase and frequency for optimal power saving, so that it's only overclocking when you push the system, and when you're not pushing the system, then the CPU is running much, much slower and much cooler. So right now, it's telling us we're at an 11% overclock at 4.7 gigahertz, 112 watt recommended, fan function, everything's running exactly like it should. I am disappointed with that overclock, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in the BIOS and turn the XMP memory profile back on and see if that makes any difference. And I thought you could do that through the software, but
Is that going to be up in the voltage on the CPU, that automatic overclock?
I'll go back and look at it, but it controls all that automatically. It'll lower the voltage when the CPU is not being used as hard.
Yeah.
And then it'll raise the voltage.
That's the only thing, that the CPU, sometimes you have to give them a bit more voltage.
Yeah.
To make them a bit more stable.
Yeah, Asus does all that.
At the end of the day, it does shorten the life of the hardware. I mean, once you start putting voltage through something that's not meant to have that amount of voltage going through, it's going to shorten the life of it, no matter what cooler you've got, or same as the motherboard. And you know, that means you're upping the volts on the motherboard because the amount of volts are going through. That's the thing with overclocking.
Yeah, but
if you're happy with
but if
that,
the lifespan is 50 years and you cut it in half to 25, it's still going to live longer than its useful life.
But we live in a throwaway world today, and I think, to be fair,
It's true.
most people buy, you know, new computers regularly nowadays. I mean, some of the youngsters nowadays, they're buying a computer every 2 years, whereas back in the day, you'd have had a computer for 10 years and kept going with that thing, and you know, no one upgraded PCs back then. Even hard drives used to be whirring and whistling away. But we live in a throwaway world, so next year the new graphics cards will be out, everyone will be selling theirs on eBay and getting new ones. And that's the way we are, you know.
We are a disposable society.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so I just turned on XMP profile, and I'm going to run that overclocking utility again. I think I can get better than 11%.
I've got that FX 6300 there, FIFA shop photo. That was a very good processor back in the day. That was a really decent processor for gaming, and a budget build.
That ran really hot though, didn't it? Didn't that?
Yeah, it's getting a bit tight, that FX 6300 now, because there's, you know, the A10. There's an A10 processor for the AMD, which was a really good budget processor for gamers. You can get 1920 by 1080 gaming on that A10 processor back in the day.
Yeah.
But cheap, you know, cheap. And you can use the onboard graphics too, and it will still give you very good results. Obviously, it's not going to give you super duper high frame rates, but you know, very good build. I mean, a lot of people flamed AMD back then, but they were still affordable machines. It's just if you get caught up in the frames per second, you know, the world where we want an extra 3 frames per second, and, you know, and spend an extra $150, because that's how it is nowadays. It's like just, and I think they flamed. I think I see Ryzen getting flamed because Intel was beating it by 3 frames per second or something on certain games. I mean, 3 frames, really? It's just crazy.
It's all about bragging rights. It's not about reality.
Oh, the Dell XPS 400s, yeah, I remember those, yeah. Well, it's what you're happy with, Russell. I mean, if you're still happy with it, it works for you, and you know, nothing says that you have to go out and buy the latest and greatest, man.
Yeah, people feel peer pressure.
People, if they don't game and they don't do that stuff, you know, then use it. You know, everyone's got their own needs for computers. You know, I still play gaming today, and I still play a lot of games. So I want a decent graphics card, decent machine. I have to render videos for you guys, so I need a pretty beefy machine to cut down the time and everything else. Obviously, Carey has to go one step above everyone else and do 4K content and 8-hour-long videos, which takes God knows how long to render. I dread to think his upload times and rendering times and workflow, because it must be horrendous, you know. But he's still producing them, so you're very lucky.
You're part of one. It's going to be several hours long. I'm going to be running out of space on my memory card here in a couple.
Yesterday was 3 hours.
Yeah, that's right. And the day before that, I think, was what, 2 hour and a half, 2?
But you know what though? That's just the start for CareyHolzman. That's just a warm up. You know, I can remember that. I don't know whether you remember this. There was a Mike Tech and you did a 24-hour live stream on New Year. I think it was New Year's, was it?
That wasn't. No, that wasn't. No, that was me and Todd Cochran, I think.
It was 24-hour live stream.
That was for charity. Yeah.
Oh my God, I was absolutely wasted that day. I couldn't. I think I was there longer than anyone else.
All right, let's see. I want to make sure I'm looking through these options. I want to run through the automatic overclock again. I want to do enable advanced instruction set. Memory stress test we don't need to do. Encoding stability, enable overclock tolerance. Is that for higher? No, I don't want to enable overclock tolerance. And we'll do the memory stress test. That takes more time. So let's just go ahead and let that run, and just to introduce the viewers to how this works. It's really cool. The memory stress test, basically what it's going to do, Brian, is the Asus software is going to give me the best overclock that is going to be the most stable for high intensity, like encoding, video encoding. Because
so you're hoping it's going to be more than 11%.
It's interesting to me that, yeah, well, now that I've got the XMP profile, it may have been limited by the memory and not necessarily the CPU. So we're going to find out now, and I'm going to just push that memory as hard as I can with the memory stress test. So right now it's at an overclock of 9%. That's where it's starting. I guess they think that's a safe spot for all 7700K. That's what I've got in here, by the way, is a Core i7 7700K Kaby Lake.
I'm not drunk yet, Russell. I'm not drunk yet. I am. I had a few today, but not too many. I'm not drunk yet. Well, I had a couple of beers. Tired. That's what it is. I'm really tired. I've had a hard week, man. I've been working as well as creating content. It's not easy. Trust me, Russell. Creating content and working at the same time is not an easy schedule. Plus, I've got other ventures on the go as well, which.
But you love it. Come on, Brian, you love it. You love it.
I do love it. That's why I do it. I don't do it. I do it because I like it, creating content. I like helping people. Yeah. I like doing something. That 5820K there. That's the processor I've got. Omega, I should say. Yeah, and I've got that processor. Very good processor. Very underrated. Very underrated processor. Very affordable too.
Hey, on the Hangout, are you getting the video, or are you just getting my audio?
I'm just getting your audio, mate.
Okay. I didn't think you could split it. I don't think both apps could use it at the same time.
I think you can do in-house videos, and we'll have to work that out, Carey, where we can do we'll work that out.
I need a video splitter. I need like a, yeah. I know how it's done. I just.
I would
I don't want to spend so much time and effort in configuring those streams setup that I'm not doing work. You know what I mean?
Do a little script. We just set it up and it's done. You're on.
All right.
I've been to Abbey Road Studios. Yeah, it's pretty cool. That's where the Beatles.
Oh sure. Everybody knows Abbey Road.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's another place my sister visited when she was there. Had to walk across the street.
That's me, Brightech 09 there. Rhett Kavi. I can't pronounce that name. Not even when I'm sober. But yeah, that's yeah, I'm a British guy. Yeah, Brightech 09 to me.
Well, we got the 16% before it crashed.
Oh,
it's staying at 9. I wonder why it's staying at 9. This is fascinating. You know, I'm doing the overclock more out of my curiosity than actually any performance increase. I just want to know what's it capable of. And if the customer has any questions, I can say, well, here's what I got when I did it. And then I'll probably ship it with no overclock to the customer just for safety reasons, so I know I'm shipping a working system. And if the customer overclocks it and it crashes, it's not my fault.
Yeah, that 5820K there, Amigo, is I had a choice to go with the is it the 70 or 700K or go with that one at the time, and I went with that chip. The motherboards were super expensive when I bought it because it was all fresh off the press. So I bought the motherboard, the RAM. I think the RAM cost me something ridiculous like 4 sticks of because it's got eight slots on the board, and I think I bought 4 sticks of 16 gigabytes, which was something like 300 and something odd pounds back then, which was a lot of money just for the memory. It's come down a lot now, but it was ridiculous amounts of money. And even the motherboard was in the 300 odd pound mark, and the CPU. So the time you buy everything, it was a lot of money because it was fresh off the press. But you know, things do. If you buy a bleeding edge technology, you're going to pay a high premium. So what I always do is try to aim just below the cutting edge, and then you get really good pound for performance products.
Yeah, I'm always trying to find, you say pound for performance, we say best bang for the buck.
Yeah, best bang for the buck. I mean, you're not going to want to go out and spend, like, I mean, look, if they released a 1080 Ti tomorrow, a new version, and it's another £700 card, you're not going to want to go and upgrade your graphics card just to get that card. I mean, it's going to be foolish. You know, but there is people out there that do that, and the only people that do that I know of are people that are getting sent free samples to them for free. So,
or they got
carry a lot of people. So,
or they got rich mommies and daddies.
Yeah, you know it.
Yeah, or they're not rich mommies and daddies, but they're spoiled, and mommy and daddy put their needs, put the kids' needs first. I don't have any mommies and daddies like that.
Kevin's my sugar daddy. He buys me all my presents.
That's right.
For my PC.
So we're running back through the overclocking utility. I'm going to switch back over into the chat. It's been a while. It's been too long. I got to go back in there and see what's going on. Yeah, I think if I get too fancy with this, Brian, it won't be so genuine. It won't feel as authentic. I mean, this is, you don't get much more real than what I'm doing right now.
It does a good job, mate. I mean, overclocking nowadays is so much more easier. I mean, you can't go wrong. You're not going to burn the chip out. I mean, it's virtually impossible to burn a chip out from overclocking nowadays, unless you make a big foolish mistake. I mean, putting too much voltage through is not good in my opinion. I try and overclock as far as I can with putting as little voltage as I can through the CPU as possible. And the reason why I do that is because basically voltage kills CPUs eventually.
It'll kill people too.
Yeah, and that voltage going through the CPU is not just going through the CPU, it's going through the board as well. So that's why you need good quality motherboards with good quality caps, because putting higher voltage through the board will eventually start to put some pressure through the caps, and of course blow the caps over the course of time. So that's where you want to spend the extra money on getting them platinum caps, gold plated caps and stuff like that. you know.
People are just joining us right now. So for those of you just joining us, I've got Brian. Brian has got a YouTube channel called Brytech09. He's in the chat as well as joining me audibly. He's in England. He's got a fantastic YouTube channel. And don't go to his channel till I'm done, though. But in between my videos, and you're looking for some content, go check out his videos and subscribe to his channel. He's a good guy. We've known each other. How long have we known each other now, Brian? What's it been? 5 years, something like that?
Nah, I think it's got to be a bit longer than that, and it's got to be a bit longer than that, surely.
I knew Brian when he would say, "Please, sir, may I have some more?" Oh, that wasn't you. That was Oliver. Sorry. No, but so if you're joining us, Brian's joining me here from England. It's about almost 12:30 at night, I think, in England right now. It's 4:20. It's 4:20 in Arizona. I don't know exactly what that means, but that's what the time is. And we're just hanging out in the chat. So for folks that are in the chat, what do we got going on here? CCTV user. Carey should have never doubted the power of a live stream. This is amazing. Okay, well, thank you. That's kind. I think it's kind of boring. It's fascinating people are interested in this, but give them what they want. Carey, YouTube only saves 4 hours of stream footage. If that's the case, I'm going to have to start and stop the stream because we've been going 3 hours and 26 minutes on the stream right now. Oh, this is the link that you were talking about, the EVGA.com. Whoops.
Yeah, try and do that one. That'll look cool, man. I want to see if it works.
Precision XOC. Let me grab that.
The reason why you only see my hands there, John, is because I used to have a job doing finger bobs years ago for children's TV.
Finger bob? Is that finger puppets?
Go on YouTube and look at the finger bobs. You'll see the reason.
Are you serious? You're not serious.
You'll just see the guy's hands.
You must be logged in to download Precision XOC. What? I got to be logged in.
No, just download. I think you can download that, dude. Yeah.
It says I got to log in.
What, download software?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you could be able to change the.
It's gonna make...
Have a look on Google. Go to Google and put that Precision on Google. Precision X on Google. See if you can find it somewhere else.
You know what?
Because they try to get you to do a lot of that stuff.
Let me see if I can log it in here. No, that didn't work.
Hey, BH Ringer, nothing cuts Brian's beard time, I can tell you that much. Saturdays is my day off in the evening. I like to chill out and relax.
All right, let's try
I am watching my P's and my Q's. And you'll notice that I don't do that sort of stuff. I think someone posted something about the hardware guy that does, Ross, I think his name was, or something, or Lewis or something. He does some really good stuff, but I don't agree with all the blatant swearing on live feed and stuff. It doesn't...
Well, it's not family friendly, is it?
It just doesn't impress me at all. It's just not cool. I mean, there could be young kids watching that stuff.
Well,
so you have got to watch your P's and your Q's when you're doing live streaming. I mean, it's not for everyone.
You know what? I try and always keep my channel family friendly. I want parents to be able to know that parents to be able to know that this is a safe channel for their kids to watch, and I hope it inspires their kids in a positive way.
I can't put the link in the chat there, David, because I'm not. It won't let me put links in, but it's Brytech09 on. Just do this on YouTube, and you should see me.
If you're trying to change the LED on the GPU, you cannot. You just change the board to green.
If you're on I do love your Cheerio. Cheerio.
Cheerio. So they're saying I can't change the color, Brian.
It can.
It says they can't.
No, I think you can. There's
Well,
a little palette in there. You go into the little section. There's a little palette you can open up.
Well, we're going to find out in a minute. I'm downloading it now.
How you getting there, Gigabyte running? I don't know where you come up with these names. Gigabyte running. I mean, whatever made you think of a name like that?
Nobody else had it.
Yeah.
Nobody else has a gigabyte running.
Some people have got some really weird names.
There's people still talking about Asus PC Probe as part of the Asus AI suite.
They love it.
We solved that problem. It was the Aura software. It was the.
Let go, Carey. You know that.
It was the Aura software. We already moved on well past that a long time ago. All right, let me move this download into my NAS.
No, Kerry's not Gigabyte running. It's not Kerry. It's me, Brian. That's said that.
Where am I going to put
You
it?
can message me there, Tech and Gamer for Life. You can message me. I'm not sure what you're going to message me for, but you can message me as long as it's not sort of a dating or anything like that. But no, you can do.
It says that you cannot change the Founders Edition color. All right, well let's find out. Let's talk is cheap. Let's do it and see what it does.
I'm sure that it can.
Well, you know what?
I mean, what is the purpose of that?
Look, this is what I don't like about the internet. It's all this conflicting information. Well, we're still running the memory, the extended memory test, so we're not missing. We're at 53%, 60%. Wait, no, it's moving. 80%.
Let me just see if let me see if I can see here.
Oh, good timing. Just wrapped it up.
I've just did a quick Google search here. Change the colours for the EVGA for the wing. You can do it for that.
Yeah, I don't have. We have the Founders Edition.
But what is the purpose of that? That just don't make sense. If they're letting you change it for that, why would they let you? Hold on, let me pause that. I don't understand why they'd let you do it for the. We'll soon see. Put the software on and we'll see. That would just be. But do you know what? Some people make me laugh. When they make this stuff.
Well, we're going to find out. All right. So if you're watching the live stream right now, I've got the Precision XOC software being installed. You can see it live right now on the stream. We're going to accept the license agreement, and we're going to find out exactly what happens here. Well, that didn't take long to install at all.
That's crazy. If they do that, that's bad by EVGA.
They call it a skin tool. Oh, it's still downloading something. Might have just started as too prematurely. Wow, there's
1 gigabit internet.
There is a lot of there's a big program, this Precision XOC. I mean, this thing's
media, Russell. Good on you, BH. I've seen you on the forums too. You do some posts on there. That's good of you to support. It's good of you. I appreciate everyone's support. I'm sure Kerry does too.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I won't think I'm wrong. I'll tell you what, if that doesn't change it, Kerry, I'll be very disappointed that it lets you change the one below it, but not that one. That would be very, very bad on EVGA.
I could color it in with a red marker.
Because that, I think, on the most expensive one, you'd expect to have all the toys,
Right, wouldn't you? It is the most expensive one. You're absolutely correct. It's not the fastest one. It's not the coolest one. It's the most expensive one.
Exactly. So you'd expect, if you've got it on the lower models, why couldn't you have it on the higher end models? That would just be foolish.
Ooh, my CAM software said my CPU exceeded 82 degrees Celsius. That's not good.
No, that always does silly little warnings like that. It'll tell you that you're going to get that stuff coming up. The 1070, Richard. The 1070. I've got the 1060 overclock version with 6 gigabytes, and I got flamed for buying that card. As they said, I should have bought a 1070, but it's probably on par with your card, to be honest.
Oh my gosh, now they want a first name, a last name, an email address, and a serial number.
Yeah.
All right, user name. That's what I'm going to put in. Email. What am I going to put for email? user@user.com. How about that? Okay. Now what are you going to do?
Go into the little cog once the program opens and see if it opens up there. If it don't change it, I'll be very disappointed.
All right, here we are. Clock speed, temperature target, power target, hardware monitoring, OSD
Right,
sense.
now the little cog down in the bottom left right-hand corner, Kerry. Little cog down there.
Oh, okay, the little gear. You're calling it a cog?
Right near the numbers, there's a little cog right down the bottom. You see the numbers all on the bottom line?
Yeah.
There's a little cog.
It's not.
Click on that cog.
It's not doing anything.
Well, why don't you do anything? Should do. Close that window off at the top there.
Yeah, I closed it.
Click on the cog.
Oh, I see what it's this because this is open. All right. Now where? Minimize.
Once that cog opens, you should see a little LED. It should be a little tab saying LED at the top.
No, I got fan, profile, interface, pixel check, frame rate target, general, and the LEDs. They're shaded.
LED up the top right-hand corner.
They're grayed out.
So you can't do. Oh, what a. That's nonsense. That is.
I agree.
That is nonsense.
They
How
are.
can you do that on the card below you and change the colour, and yet you can't do that on the card above? I mean, and you're paying more money for the that just annoys the hell out of me. When you're paying more money for a high-end card,
Yeah.
and yet you can't change the LED colour. I mean,
Yeah.
what is that about? Really?
I agree. It's pretty messed up.
But that is how you change it on the card.
Well, you still taught me. You still taught me.
You'd be able to do it.
You still taught me something new. Because you should be able to turn the LED off, don't you think? Or do I have to get a piece of black tape?
Gary, I'm not sure the Founders Edition, yet there is a card that does allow you to, I think for the win allows you to do it.
Yeah, well, clearly, with these two tabs for LED, there are cards that support it, or the tabs wouldn't be there. But the tabs are the tabs.
If you've got EVGA for the win, it allows you to change that colour. Now, assuming is you shouldn't assume anything, but you would think that if they're allowing you to do it on one card, why don't they allow you to do it on other cards? I mean, to be fair, it's a minor thing. It's not anything major, and it's such a small thing, and it really is an important part of custom builds to get the colour coordination going on your system. So I think if EVGA are going to roll that out, they should roll it out for all their cards, and there'd be problem solved. Why only do it on certain cards and not on other cards? It just doesn't make sense, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's not as if it's a big, massive,
It's crazy. But I wasn't expecting it to be able to. So I'm not too.
Gary's saying that the $700 for a Founders Edition. Yeah, and you can't change the colour. That's just.
I think it was 600. I think it was $599.
Well, $599, and it doesn't allow you to change the LED colour on the card. I mean, that is just.
Well,
stupid.
let's get an opinion now. We've got red RAM, and I got the red NZXT, and the motherboard then should be red or green. I think it should be red. I think the only thing green.
What's the for the win, Kerry? What is the for win card? Is that lower than that card?
It's faster, and it's cheaper.
Right. So the for the win card
It says here now, for the wing card, you can change the LED colour lights.
Yeah, I believe that.
That's just stupid.
Well,
that really is stupid.
The Founders Edition is sort of the purest version of the card without any overclocking
Exactly.
or...
Why would you do
Which
that?
you think would be the
That's
cheapest.
stupid.
Cheapest. I don't know that.
I
You know,
you can change the motherboard colours, so you can change the motherboard colours to red if you wanted to, but they're always going to have that green colour, which is a bit annoying.
I talked to the customer about this. I didn't really want him to get the Founders Edition. I thought you could get a better card for less money, but this is what he wanted, and this is what I'm giving him. Wasn't
That's
my...
not your fault, mate. It's
Yeah.
just that's not your fault. That's EVGA's fault for being. I don't know. Could you actually say? I think it's stupid for them to do one thing with one card and then not make it available on another card, especially when that's a real high-end card. Doesn't make sense, in my opinion.
Well, right now I'm downloading the Aura software, which is now version 10429. I'd have to look at these different version numbers to see what else is newer. Interesting, they even have Kaspersky available to download. So I'm going to put the Aura software on, and let's see if it still crashes the computer.
Well, Aura software, well, that should change it to red, but it still isn't going to allow you to do that graphics card.
No, yeah, well, I kind of assumed that right from the get-go.
That's really sad, man. I mean, that's...
It was worth trying.
well, it does change it on the lower end. I just don't understand the point of that, really. Hold on, let me just have a look. I'm looking on EVGA's website now to see if there's anything about changing the colour. It has to be RGB, I think. That's where they're getting people. There's a big difference. There's a big time shift with the technology right now. So at the moment, you're getting like that RAM you've got is LED RAM, and I bought the same RAM, Kerry. But now they're releasing RGB RAM, which allows you to change that colour, which is way more expensive than LED RAM. But you're limited to that. That's just red, so you can't change it. You can only have red. You can only change the pulsing speed, but you can't change the colour. But the RGB stuff means you can change all the colours to any colour you like. But you know what? They want so much more money for this RGB stuff. It's because it's the latest and greatest. They want to have your pants down on it. It's not good.
That's one way of phrasing it. All right, I've just changed everything to red on the motherboard. I don't know, can you guys see it okay on the live stream?
Yeah, we can see it, mate.
It's breathing. I think maybe I need to have it. Let's see, what does it look like if I move it to, let's see, rainbow? No, I don't want, well, here's what rainbow looks like.
Now you've got red.
Here's what comet looks like.
That looks nice.
Here's, oh wait, comet is still downstream, upstream.
It's like breathing, I can see.
Oh, I see, upstream moves the lights in the up position. Cycle, what does cycle do? Yeah, I don't care for that. Flash and dash. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, I don't care for that.
Nah, the one before that looked better.
Strobing. Yeah.
That's
the temperature lights and music lights. Breathing.
They're gonna fit while you're playing your game.
Let's try, well, that's breathing. I think maybe we need to just go
I
static.
do like breathing.
How about
Breathing's
static?
probably one of my favourites.
Well, but with the RAM breathing and the water cooler breathing, I think it's too much breathing. I don't know, what do you think? What looks best? Or I could switch it over to green.
All of it. I don't think you do the LED RAM for green. I think that only stays red, Kerry.
Yeah, you have to order it by color, so.
Yeah. I think having just a green graphics card is going to be better than everything else green. And have the RAM red. I mean, it could do. It's what really suits you, really, at the end of the day.
Well, let's switch it all to green. What if we could do half green and half red. What if we did this as red? So you'll see this area should go red. Then down here, so the top is red and the bottom is green. What about that? Or is that too funky?
Let's have a look. Put the green on the middle bit there, Kerry, on the pump. And change all, put the green on the pump so I can see on the pump.
Oh, you want the pump being green as well?
Yeah, just leave the RAM red. Just leave the RAM red.
Well, I've got the motherboard red on the edges.
Yeah, just put everything green apart from the RAM. Let's
okay.
have a look at that.
All right. Let's change everything on the board. So everything on the board now is green. And then let's bring up the NZXT software.
You don't see many green machines though, to be fair, so it might be a little bit more, red's pretty much done by everyone. Mine's red, everyone does red ones, so.
Well, the customer is going to change it anyway, but I want to blow his socks off when he sees it,
Well, red RAM is not a big problem. Green is the new red, Doug. I like
green is the new red.
Like it.
Where was it? Tuning, lighting.
If you're married, Doug, you'll understand what that means. Because I tell you what, women can change their mind just like that.
All right, what do you think now, guys? Now I want to get green RAM.
You can't change the card random.
But keep in mind,
it's a bit stupid. Really.
Keep in mind though, Brian, look at the front. The front of the case is red fans.
I think that looks nice, Cody.
And
I think it's the best you're going to get it. But I would change that NZXT flash like that. I'd rather have it more breathing mode. Because I think that's a little bit in your face. But that's just me. Oh, you've got red fans at the front as well.
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering if I shouldn't just keep it mostly red.
Maybe just switch it all to red then and just leave the graphics card green. That's the only thing. I reckon if you've got red fans,
yeah,
you're going to have to. Because it's going to look a bit of a mixed bag. I'd just leave the graphics card red, mate. What about, I'm going to shout this one out there so that all the flamers can flame me if you like. What about if you've got a bit of red filter paper, like the plastic filter paper, like these translucent paper, you get the plasticky stuff, and a little strip of that and put it over the front of the graphics card so that'd be red.
Man, I'm a PC builder. I'm not an artist.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it'll make it look red.
What do you think of that NZXT logo flashing like that?
I like it pulsing like that, yeah. That's the one I like.
And then if we change everything else...
That's just my personal opinion, mate.
Well, that's what I'm asking you for, is your opinion.
I like it. I like it a lot.
And then let's change... Let's see.
And you can change... See the LEDs, RAM? You see how it's out of sync? You can change the speed of that as well with their own software. You go to Corsair's website and they've got software there which you can change the pulsing speed.
Well, let's do this first. Change that to red. And we'll change that one to red. Now it's all, now everything is,
I've seen that,
now everything is red now, right? So there's the front. We got red up here on the switch and the hard drive activity light is red. And in here we're red. The only thing not red is the GeForce logo, which is sort of what I warned to...
Someone suggested there, Jordan suggested everything red apart from the graphics card and the CPU. Make that green, the CPU green.
Okay.
That's what Jordan has suggested.
That might actually be a really good idea.
And that might not be a bad idea, Jordan, actually, to be fair. Might be worth a try, because I think that might balance, because you've got the green graphics card and also the green CPU and all the rest red, so could be a good shout by Jordan.
Trying to find the right shade.
man, Jordan. I don't think you're too far off there, Jordan. I think you might have a winner. Let's have a look. Does balance very well. Looks a bit more balanced. Because you've got the back fan, the back board red bit, and then also the green in the middle. I think you might have a winner there.
What do you think?
I like it. I think that might be a good shout from Jordan.
Yeah. Well, you know what else I could do? I could change the color down here to green on the board.
Is there anything that NZXT, can you slow that pulse down a little bit?
Yeah, I can slow it down.
Congrats there, Jordan. Thanks for your input. That looks pretty cool.
Is that too slow now?
Let's have a look. That looks cool, man. I like it.
It's pretty slow.
I like the green up the centre and the red on the outside. Because you've got the red on the left and the right and the green up the centre, that does look really nice.
Okay,
That's the best you're going to get with a, you know, with a card that you can't change. So, good shout. And that's what this is all about. It's not about trolling. It's about trial and error and people.
Oh yeah,
putting their input
and the
in.
customer can change it.
You know, it's good. Input.
Oh, what if I did this? I got an idea. What if we add red and green? How about that?
What, mix it up where you have two?
Look at it. Look at the stream. Look at the NZXT cooler now. How's that?
Now, the graphics card, oh, it's a bit of a long one. The graphics card, you can't change the colour, but if you get the lower down ones, you can change it. I do like that, Kerry, actually, to be fair.
Red and green?
I like that.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, because it gives you a mixture of the both.
Exactly. It feels more like...
That looks awesome. It does. I think that looks good. So now Jordan has been debunked, and now we put Jordan back down.
Wah, wah. That's all right. No, he led me to that idea. That's great. Thank you, Jordan. Thank you.
No, I like it. Yeah, that does look nice. A blend of green and red.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm liking it.
There we go. Look at that.
So your idea was thought about for a split second there, Jordan.
No, he led me to that, though. He actually led me.
Kerry just took that.
Hey, that's how we work. We bounce ideas off each other. It wasn't my idea and it wasn't his idea. It was us together, working together as a team.
It does look nice, Kerry, actually. If you look at it from my screen, from here, where I am, that does look really cool. Because you get the actual NZXT goes green while the red is turning to green on the circle. I like it.
Yeah, that's really neat.
Like it.
I think that's...
The NZXT goes green and the outer circle goes from red to green as it's bleeding in. It looks pretty cool.
I think so. If I could get the GeForce one to go in time with it, that'd be awesome.
Now that does look cool. Do you know what would be cool? If you could do that with all the components, that would be absolutely awesome.
Well, I mean, with Aura compatible components, you can. You know, if I got an Asus Strix video card, then I could do the Aura on the video card, time it all with the motherboard. And then there's some RAM that is Aura compatible as well.
So no, you can do that. I think you can do that with a motherboard with that Aura. You can change it from red to green, can't you?
Yes. Yeah. We could go to
Try that then, Kerry. Try the red to green on the board.
Darn you, Brian. I thought I was done, but that's a good idea.
Because that might make it look really sexy too. I'm liking that look though, that green to red. That looks pretty awesome. Yeah, the memory, Randall, the memory will not go any other colour but red. That memory is just called LED memory. The new memory that you can get nowadays is called RGB, but it's double the price. So they're trying to get rid of all the LED memory right now because obviously they're moving away from LED to RGB. But I think LED's still got a purpose for some people because they want cheaper prices. So I bought my stuff that's LED. If you look at my video, you'll see all the red build. It's all red. Looks perfectly fine. Looks nice. You know. So.
Well, the only one on these. Wait a minute. When do we do independent?
Can you not do it, Carey?
Don't know. It's only letting me select colors for...
I love the sense of humour there, Doug. Hopefully the customer is not red and green colour blind.
Hey, this would be a great Christmas build.
I like the sense of humour, Doug. I like it.
Well, color cycle is going to give us all the colors. I wish I had color cycle and I could pick the colors. Rainbow is obviously going to be rainbow. Comet doesn't let me pick colors. Flash and dash doesn't let me pick colors. Strobing.
God, that's a rainbow colour you had going on there at one moment. Do you know what though? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I can't even pronounce that correctly, but you know what I'm saying, Ben.
Yeah.
That everyone's got to know their own.
Everyone's an idiot.
Everyone likes their own stuff. You know what I mean? So I mean, what you like and I like, someone else could come along and go, "What the bloody hell have you done there? That looks absolute crap."
Yeah.
You know, I want blue or green. So.
Well, again, the user. I expect the user to play with it and change it, but I just want to knock his socks off.
But the learning curve there is to learn to play with the colours, which you now learn you can play with the graphics card colours, but not on all the graphics cards. So now you've learned that bit.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Thing.
I mean, I knew that. I knew that with
I would actually email them EVGA and say, you know, I'm very disappointed in the fact that I paid this much for a card that I can't change the colour on.
Well, they probably would have said you should have.
I can change the colour. Pretty sad, really.
I'm sure they would have.
People don't mention that on videos, you know. The people, you know, you ain't going to get that sort of content on other channels. They're not going to mention it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure it's in the product description if you dig deep enough.
Oh yeah, you can't flame anyone or can't flame the product. But that's where I don't like. That's when I do product reviews. I always state that it's going to be my own opinion, and if I don't like it, I'm going to say so. You know, because I don't want people buying something that I recommend and it's an absolute pile of junk.
Yeah.
You know, and they come back and then flame me and say, what was that you told me to buy? It was rubbish. It's crap. I don't want that, you know.
Well, we go back to that whole accountability thing, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Still trying to figure out.
Is that the 280 or the 240 rad you got on the top of there, Kerry?
It's the Kraken X62, whatever that is.
Yeah, but I think they've got two types. I think they had a 280 and a 240, didn't they? Let's have a look.
I think there's only one Kraken X62.
Let's have a look. I might be wrong. I think they did a 140.
Maybe color cycle will look. But what do you think about color cycling? Just go through all the colors on the board and leave everything else red and green, or is that just too much?
Well, I think.
Does that look too much gay pride?
Do you know what, though, Kerry? To be fair, it really doesn't really matter what you think or I think or anyone else thinks, because at the end of the day, it's what one person likes, another person doesn't like. So
I think I
you're
like.
always going to have that debate, you know, whether it's good or bad. I mean, I like personally one static colour, you know, like a colour pulsing or whatever it is. You know, try to keep in one colour range, and that's what I call a theme build, where you got colour on colour. It's unfortunate that you've got a green graphics card and you can't change it, and there's not a lot you can do. I think I can't think of his name. What he said in the chat there. The only thing you can do, Jordan. The only thing you can do is make the best of a bad bunch, and by making half and half, so you can have the central green and the outskirts red, which is sort of halving your problem, really. That's probably about the look at Rick saying game, try and laugh at that.
Well, here's red and green. Here's what I did. I've got red across the edges of the motherboard and then green just above and below the video card, combined with the red and green on the NZXT.
I think Kerry's favourite colour is blue.
I like red. I like black. My favorite color is black. Let's put all the black lights on.
I thought you liked blue. You know what I'm saying.
I don't know what you're talking about. Oh. Shut up.
Oh dear, we won't go there.
That's a Burning Man reference.
We won't go there, buddy. Don't you worry.
All right.
I do like that. I think that's a real nice touch there, Kerry. I do like that. I think Jordan was on the right track.
Absolutely.
You tweaked it with the red and the green in the centre. I think that's the best look, for my personal opinion, as you're going to get it with that. For that. Sorry if I'm shouting, laughing really loud down the microphone, and it's probably maxing out because it's going red on my end. I have to have it loud so you can hear me.
Well, so right now the top half of the board is red and the bottom half of the board is green, with the NZXT kind of tying them together. It would be neat if I could rotate the red and green up and down, but it looks like that only works with strobing all the color. Well, maybe not. Let's see. If I put it on strobing, let's see what that does. Oh, it just flips the lights off and on. Okay.
Yeah, I think the Christian Gamer 77, we've tried to mishmash the best we can to get the audio. I'm running through Kerry's microphone, which is the best we can do this week.
Yeah, this was on a whim.
If we do this in future, what we're going to do is we're going to invest and sort this out properly and get some better audio set up, and we'll be able to have perfect audio and stuff like that. But don't worry, that'll be in the pipeline if we ever do it again. So this is just a one-off thing that Kerry done off the cuff.
Yeah.
And he invited me in, so
it's all very random.
Make good, very quick and dirty fix, really, to be fair. So.
All right. What do you think?
That's okay. So
what do you think? What do you think of the board? The whole board breathing, but everything's breathing out of sequence.
So that's slightly to the right, because I can't really see because the light is on the back pump. I can't see it. Just turn it a little bit so I can't see. That's it. Right there, mate. I like it. I like it, Kerry.
Do you think the board breathing is better or worse?
I like the breathing. I like it.
Even though they're all breathing out of sequence?
Yeah, I like all that. But you can change, see the pulsing on the memory? You can get the software for that as well. Go to Corsair and get the software, and you can get that and change the speed of that pulsing so it matches the NZXT.
This poor guy's going to have so much software on his computer.
If you wanted to do that, if you want to go that, if you're that anal about it, you want to go real crazy on the pulsing. I do like it though. I mean, you're getting the best out of what you can.
Well, there's the website. So they don't even make it in green. They make the RAM in blue, red, and white.
There's some software. Yeah, they only make no. They do RGB stuff, but this is LED stuff. But there is there's some software that you can do to change the pulsing. I did see it. I'm sure I see it the other day.
I don't see it.
Scouring the internet, and I found a. Hold on, let me go quickly find the link. One sec. What's it? Is it Corsair?
Yeah, Corsair Vengeance. I don't see any software that does that. Corsair Q. What's the
Hold
Q?
on. It's called. Hold on, mate. I'm sure I see it. Let me just check.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, if I'm wrong, which I could be.
The closest thing I can see is something called Q, C-U-E. Doesn't say what it's for. It just says lighting effects. And that's a software development kit. It's not actually... Yeah, I don't think it exists. But I don't have any problem with it. I like the way it is.
It's called. That's someone trying to get there.
Let me go back.
It's called software, a Corsair Link.
That's for the liquid cooler, changing the colors on
No,
the...
it's for the RAM. LED-ROM. I'm looking at it now.
Let me see.
It's got Corsair Vengeance LED-ROM, and you can change the pulsing. It's either static or pulse. You can change it to.
Okay. Well, we want to keep it static. I mean, pulse.
Yeah. Hold on a sec. Or you can have it grouped, ungrouped, so it's grouped to other components. Or you can put delay or stuff like that. So I'm not sure what that is. What software is? It must be.
Well, there's the Corsair Link software.
Is that the stuff?
But I'm not going to... You know what? I'm not going to put it on there. I'm going to leave that alone.
If you're happy with it the way it is,
Yeah.
Kerry,
I don't want to over...
I mean, you can do it. You can tweak with it. But, I mean, it's like anything. You can tweak any sort of LED or RGB. But I mean, if you're happy.
Well, I don't want to overwhelm the customer with a bunch of software.
No.
And that's just going to result in more support calls.
Yeah, there is the same stuff, Doug. Yeah, it's the link module software. It will do it. It just allows you to make changes.
All right, I'll tell you what. I'm going to take a break, and we're a little over 4 hours on the stream. And if in fact the stream only saves 4 hours, I want to stop and create a new stream. So let's see. Where's my software? We're going to put a stop to the stream, and we're going to start a new one.